Engines fired, drivers ready to roll.
It's on the line now, boys. Talladega, everybody's in play. Here we go at Talladega. They're banging on each other everywhere. Danger lurks around every corner. This is incredible. Wow.
It's a red letter date on the NASCAR calendar. A trip to Talladega, Alabama. Area coverage today provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. From the driver's seat today, rookie Cole Custer, who absolutely can do it all. But at 19 years old, his #1 focus now is driving a race car. He's pretty good at it. Going for Rookie of the Year, starting 13th today. Here we are from the driver's seat.
Hey, Cole Custer, it's Michael Waltrip up in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Could you explain to the viewers at home what it's like, what you're faced with today? How are you mentally prepared to go out there and run bumper to bumper, side by side, 4 wide for 300 miles today?
Yeah, you know, it's not easy. These races are pretty intense, and just got to try and watch as much film as you can, just going into the weekend and trying to get an idea on things. And, you know, I think we have a pretty good Haas Automation Mustang, and hopefully we can just be there at the end. Pretty big wreck fest at Daytona, so hopefully everybody calm down a little bit.
Cole, this is Kevin. You mentioned Daytona and that wreck fest. How much different do you think the approach of yourself and the field will be from that standpoint, knowing how hard it was to bump draft these cars at Daytona?
I think everybody's going to calm down a little bit. Usually you don't see as many wrecks at this racetrack, I feel like, just looking at other races. But hopefully everybody just calm down a little bit in the middle of the year. It's not the first race anymore, so hopefully everybody can just try and make it to the end.
All right, man, we'll be watching. Have fun out there today.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
The rookie out of California's had a lot of speed, but 3 DNFs, one of those coming at Daytona. He hopes for better luck today. Let's get our pit headlines before the green flag. Head down to the pit lane now and start with Jamie Little. Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Adam. Well, for the first time in his 8-year career in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Blake Koch is starting on the pole. Now, this team, they're relaxed. They don't take themselves too seriously, and their motto, have fun. And an example of that, look at his crew chief, Chris Rice, rocking the jeans on the pit box. You just don't see crew chiefs that relaxed. They hope to continue that fun streak later on in victory lane, which would be a first win. Chris Neville?
Well, last year, Elliott Sadler led 1 lap, the most important lap, and he got his 2nd win here at Talladega. This year, he's been the series leader in grabbing stage points. He said that strategy isn't going to change today, even though he's starting 14th. He said, I've got 25 laps, but I'm going to go big and bold to get that 1 car to the front. Matt Yoakum?
Chris, Ty Dillon, he's chasing a lot of different agendas here today. He wants another Xfinity Series win, but also racing with big picture mentality, not for himself, but for his RCR and RCR-affiliated teammates. They make up the inside of the first 4 rows. Now, he doesn't want to make a bad move that's costly to them because they're racing for stage points in a championship. But he's also racing for a trophy here at Talladega. Guys, there's a lot of discipline that takes place in this type of racing.
It's going to be a fun afternoon here at Talladega. First time we came here, it was Ernie Irvan who got the checkered flag. Who will it be today? Find out next on Fox.
Well, I think everybody knows Talladega is always wild. You know, you're just trying to be able to survive through the race.
Me personally, I've always just tried to be aggressive and try to put ourselves in the front.
My main goal is to be there at the end. You know, no matter whether I'm running 15th or first at the end of the race, just be around and then you can make your move.
Haven't done very well in the finish order here at Talladega, so this time just trying to be a little more conservative on my approach and make sure we can come out of here with a good finish.
I said it earlier, it's all about that balance, patience versus aggression. 69 degrees right now. Gusting winds down that back straightaway at 16 miles per hour. And here you see the setup in regards to stage length.
I think that's going to be a big story throughout the day because those stages, that's short, Mike. You know, I think 25 laps, and I think that opens the window to pit early or to run to the end of the stage, and we've seen that a lot this year to decide whether you pit or not to get those stage points.
And speaking of that, let's get today's Liberty Mutual Worry Less strategy with America's crew chief, Larry McReynolds. What do you say, Larry?
Well, Adam, I know this sounds weird listening to the spotter on the pit box, but we're not going to be coming to pit road a lot. And when we do come, we may do 2 right side tires. We may do fuel only. It's easy to get crashed on pit road. Yeah, your spotter's important, but on pit road, that old crew chief, he can do a little spotting too. So listen to both of us.
And you got to use your mirror, especially if you're out front, like the guy that's starting on the pole for the first time in his career, Blake Cook in that 11 machine.
Everybody to touch this thing, thank you, thank you, thank you. Go have fun all day, and you know what this means, right? Your little brain can say, P-What?
That's right, man. I have phones right now.
Chris Rice, the crew chief, Blake Cook behind the wheel. Fun to see them in qualifying. And Justin Allgaier second a year ago. You know he's hungry.
All right, boys. Today's the day. We go get redemption for last week. Go have some fun in victory lane.
He's not thinking about redemption from last year. He's thinking about redemption from last week. Won the $100,000, but left Richmond disappointed.
He's just been so good this year. Led more laps than any other Xfinity regular. Most laps he's ever led. He's just checked every box. But man, that one that got away from him at Richmond after dominating was a hard pill for him to swallow.
Well, and when they put the Dash for Cash on the line, it seems like he's even better. So he's definitely been good this year. And when the money's been on the line, he's been better.
Well, he's a primetime player, and there's no better trophy to have than one from Talladega. This place is big. Larry McReynolds said earlier, it's bold, it's fantastic, and to win here, you feel like you've climbed a big mountain.
Lights are out on the pace car. Pins and needles right now for these 40 drivers.
Well, you have a plan, and most of the time it doesn't seem to work out. So, you know, I think the drivers right now, there's that nervous energy because there's so many things that are out of your control, and there's really not very many chances to make it right. If something goes wrong, it's usually a big disaster here.
Fans this weekend from all 50 states, 21 countries, 5 continents to see some of the best racing you'll see in NASCAR. Sit back and enjoy 300 miles for the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Fox. We are green at Talladega.
And let the games begin. We talked about in the opening how important being able to bump draft is. Push your guy ahead and keep the momentum going in your lane. And those guys are going to start playing that game here on lap 1, and they're not going to quit until the finish.
And it's a process. It's a feeling out process. You know, everybody in this group, well, not everybody, but most everybody in this race was in the race at Daytona and remembers what a disaster that was on the bump drafting side of things. So it's different at Talladega because there's more room. But the runs happen in different spots. They happen faster, and right now you're seeing 2 teammates work together.
And look at poor Blake Cook. He was so excited about
your mirror. Keep him in your mirror.
Starting on the pole. He did nothing wrong. But the other guys got the momentum. They did the bump drafting better than they did down on the bottom. He finds himself on lap 1 running back outside the top 5.
Well, and I think that's an example of maybe some experience from Elliott Sadler and Justin Allgaier there. They were able to get some momentum and be a little bit more aggressive with that bump drafting. And I think as you go through this race, you're going to have to be aggressive just for the fact that you want to keep your track position, and you know you're not coming to pit road very many times, so you want to be up front.
Casey Kane leading in that outside lane. That blue and gold 88 sweeps down low to jump in front of Ben Kennedy in that black and red 2. Outside by himself, that yellow 7, Justin Allgaier, but as you said, getting help from his teammate Elliott Sadler in the blue 1. He now goes to the high side.
Well, you see Elliott jump up there, and he's basically trying to either take the momentum from that lane or slow that lane down. So in your mirror, you're looking backwards, trying to say, all right, here comes the outside lane. I want to be in front of that line when that momentum comes up here so I can push myself a little bit further towards the front. And now you see it stall, and now he's on the outside, and that didn't all work out.
You know, I look at that move Elliott Sadler made right there. That tells me everything about his mentality today. He was riding in the middle, alongside, right behind his teammate. Things were going well. He got a little bit of momentum. He saw the line from the outside coming. He said, I'm going to the front. These guys are trying to lead every lap of this race today. No laying back for Elliott Sadler.
Well, you see Casey Kane right there. He moved up to the middle. And I think that's something that the drivers definitely have to figure out is the timing of how fast those pushes and lanes are coming forward when you go to pull that block. Because right now, that move let the 2 car get up underneath him. And as a driver, you're trying to take it all in these first few laps to figure out the pace of the race and how your car's working, the speed of the lines as they're moving forward. So it's definitely a chess match.
And we're in for a real treat today, Adam, because these guys are able to run 3 wide, making moves to the middle, to the outside, not just glued to that bottom line leading the race. These cars have a lot of energy. They can really pull up and draft, and it's evident here by this battle for the lead.
3 junior motorsports cars pulling them around. Inside is Casey Kane. Outside, Elliott Sadler. And leading in the middle is Justin Allgaier, but that's going to change. Sadler dropping down to pull around that middle lane. Brennan Poole had problems in qualifying earlier today. Unapproved adjustments, had to drop to the rear. What's their story, Chris?
Well, that's right, Adam. He made it to the second round, but on that first lap of that second round, he noticed his engine temp rising, got up to 300 degrees and was pushing out a lot of water before he shut down that engine. He said, I don't know what the problem was. We had it on the cool down unit. It just didn't cool the engine and radiator down. So that's why they had to drop to the back today. He said, we don't think it did any damage to the engine, but it's definitely something we're going to keep our eye on.
Keep coming.
Holy cow. Chris, we about had the big one on the back straightaway.
10-4, just ride high. They'll get by you. Ride high, ride high, ride high.
Yeah, those guys are really lucky that half the field isn't crashed right there, because that just, you know, shows you how easy it is to get one of these cars out of shape. And luckily, Elliott just kind of slid against the wall flat.
Reminded me a little bit of what happened to Elliott Sadler when he wrecked out leading at Daytona. Outside lane, that blue car getting a push from Joey Logano.
And it just was a situation where I think Elliott maybe, oh, and look at Eric Jones saving his car. Watch this mess.
Still top of 3. Tight in front, rolling good. Tight in front, tight in front. Top of 3.
And that's bad news, Michael. I saw you just point at the screen, and the front of that 48 car has been up.
Yes, that could be trouble.
We heard about Brennan Poole. He's got a little bit of damage there. And what about Elliott Sadler, Chris?
Well, Elliott Sadler trying to assess his car right now, thinks it's okay, and he said, I barely got into that other car, and that's what sent me to the wall. And I was talking to Elliott about this morning, about how planted these cars are around here. But he said, boy, when we make contact, these cars move around so much. Jamie?
Well, it's interesting. Joey Logano in the 22 there. I talked to him before he got in the car, and he said, I talked to my spotter, and I told Tab Boyd, tell me who is behind me and pushing me all day long, because I don't know who's in these cars. Eric Jones is behind him right now in the 20. They had an oh no moment. They're okay now, but Joey wanting to know who's pushing, because these cars are terribly unstable, in his words.
Logano right now scored, Jamie, in the 11th position, and at the front, Ben Kennedy making his second career start in the 2.
Gets a better run to the start-finish line. We need to remember that later on in the race. The outside middle will get a better run to the stripe to win the race here.
Always got to make some mental notes throughout the race so you're prepared for the stretch run. An entertaining first 6 laps here at Talladega. Ben Kennedy leading them here today. Caution out for the first time today at Talladega. 17 laps to go in our opening stage. We thought we would see a lot of drivers on pit road, not as many takers perhaps as we would have thought. Among those there, though, Elliott Sadler, who has some damage, Chris.
Yeah, and Elliott Sadler reporting to the team. He doesn't think anything is wrong with the car, but they just want to be conservative here. Take a look at the damage on that right side, see if there's potentially a tire rub. They are also potentially going to check the alignment over there, but it looks like right now just doing the right side tires.
Reason for the caution, Ray Black Jr. had an issue. We can follow up on that. And also the reason for the damage on the right side of the car for Elliott Sadler. We know he's fast, got into the wall briefly, doesn't appear too bad. More on that when we come back here on Fox. Under caution for the first time here at Talladega in the Xfinity Series, and prior to the yellow coming out, we nearly had the big one on the back straightaway.
Yeah, we saw in our opening Brad Keselowski driving that 22 car behind the blue 1 car cause a crash at Daytona, turned a guy sideways. This looks a lot like that, Kevin.
Well, I think when we saw these crashes happen at Daytona with the 22, it picks the back of that 1 car up just a little bit, and then the second shot is when it shoots him to the right. So I think Joey may have to make an adjustment here.
Here we go. First restart of the afternoon. They'll come down through the Geico restart zone, put 11 laps on the board when we cross the start-finish line. Ben Kennedy Blake Cook on the front row.
Blake didn't have any success keeping the lead when he started down on the bottom. Now he's up on the high side. It'll be interesting to see. That 11 car, obviously a lot of speed. He gets the lead and drops right down in front of Ben Kennedy in that 2 car.
Nice to have a veteran like Casey Kane pushing from behind, huh?
Well, I think in this particular instance, it's not going to work out for him because Casey in the 7 car stayed hooked up and got on the outside of him. I think what he wanted to do is get down there and get in front of his artificial teammate there, the number 2 car with the RCR Alliance.
You know, you talked about the experienced veteran pushing. Joey Logano's got a lot of experience, and he's real good. It just shows you how difficult. We talked about how hard it is. You don't have to be inexperienced to cause a problem here. Just over-aggression will cause it.
Well, and I think you can see how offset he is now. You can see that right front fender sticking out, and Brad did the same thing at Daytona when he had that accident with the cars that he was pushing. So Joey has definitely moved to the right to try to eliminate that pickup of the car and then pushing him to the right like he did with Elliott.
And that's that adjustment you were talking about, huh?
Right.
Right at halfway home in stage 1, outside lane, the 18, the blue car of Daniel Suarez down low, the gold machine, the 88 of Casey Kane. And Larry, there were some cars that had early damage. They came down pit road under that first caution, but not near as many as I thought we might see.
No, I know the last thing you want to do is put your driver back in the eye of the storm, but I am totally shocked. We know we have a caution coming at lap 50 to end stage 2, and with the caution coming at lap 7, pit road opening at lap 9, that's 41 before the end of stage 2. That's in the fuel window. I was shocked we didn't see more drivers come to pit road. If nothing else, Adam, fuel only.
Well, and Larry, you know you're also going to get caution laps at the end of stage 1 to help you in regard to that fuel mileage game. So we'll keep an eye on those guys that did pit. One of those was Elliott Sadler, who had some damage. He has worked his way back up to 18th. Meanwhile, Ben Kennedy, who restarted as the leader, 6th right now, Matt.
Nice performance so far. His first of 9 races in the 2 car in 2017. Remember, he was leading when the caution came out. Some decisions about starting on the outside or inside, and he was simply told that with all those RCR cars on the bottom, stay there. Jamie, he loves that 11 car behind him right now, though. He's having to follow him.
Yeah, the 11 car is good, but Joey Logano on the outside running 2nd right now. Said to apologize to the 1 for hitting him and getting him into the wall, so he's definitely adjusting the way he pushed. But also Kevin and Michael, he told me this morning, I have a feeling with this new package on this track, I'm going to have to adjust the way I push. And also the guys behind me, he realized his car doesn't get as loose as the others when being pushed.
Well, I think
that's a definite advantage. That means you're going to want people on your rear bumper, but we see a lot of cars getting squirrely with just the slightest of touches to the back, so that could play big later.
Well, you definitely want to be able to be pushed. So if his car is feeling stable being pushed and everybody else's is a little bit out of control, that's definitely going to be a good thing as we get towards the end of the race and maintaining his track position with people behind him.
And to Jamie's point, this is only the 2nd time we have run this package. Last time was at Daytona. Brad Keselowski drove the 22, not Joey Logano. So Logano's still feeling this out. And if you remember back to practice yesterday, he ran a bunch of laps. He wanted to get a feel, a lay of the land for how these vehicles react. And don't look now, but his old drafting buddy's right behind him. Eric Almirola driving the 98. He always finds his way to the front when he's driving that machine.
You can also see Elliott Sadler. He's got that high lane working. He's pulled a bunch of cars back up toward the front. So a little scrape against the wall hasn't curbed Elliott's enthusiasm. He's going. There's the bump draft. You can't lock bumpers. Oh, and look, nearly another crash. I think we saw a record number of cautions at Daytona, Adam, but we saw a record number of near misses as well. And we've seen a couple of big near misses today.
That 24 machine that was getting popped in the rear bumper by Justin Allgaier. Scott Lagasse making his 2nd start of the year. He was top 10 at Daytona. We'll step aside. 9 laps to go, opening stage here.
Hello, welcome.
So Chevy is the most awarded car company 3 years in a row.
Wow.
Really?
Let's see how quickly you can read through all their awards.
Oh, gosh. A lot of pressure.
You ready? Go.
2017 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Kelley Blue Book 2016 Best Resale Value.
U.S. News Best Car for the Money. 10 Best blah, blah, blah.
2017 IIHS Top Safety.
Only about 90 more to go.
2015 2017 North American Car of the Year.
That's a lot of awards. Who would have thought?
Great, now I'm gonna have to go buy a new car.
At KFC, we choose to make spicy, crispy chicken sandwiches. Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. We choose not only to launch KFC's new Zinger sandwich in a $5 fill-up, but to take it to space. Will it be easy? No. Will it be hard? Yes. We've already covered that. But when we succeed, we will lick our fingers good! Space sandwich! Yeah! Try the Zinger sandwich before it goes to space.
Battle simulation already in progress. Enemy advancing. Help defend or be annihilated. Defense successful.
Mobile Strike. Download and play now. Free from the App Store.
And that's how restrictor plates reduce air intake. Moving on. Drag is one of your biggest competitors. It slows you down, so make sure your car is streamlined. And don't forget to get an edge with drafting. Take advantage of the high-pressure air between your car and the one in front. Then you can slingshot.
You guys taking notes?
At the track, in the classroom, and online. Get special ticket offers for kids at NASCAR.com/KidsTix today.
Talladega. This one is a total minefield. But I've got it under control. Because only one driver has won at this track more than me. And we had the same name. You're all probably wondering, how did we figure it out? It's simple. This is Earnhardt country.
The Geico 500, Sunday at 1:30 Eastern on Fox.
Only 6 laps remaining in our opening stage. NASCAR Xfinity Series teams racing for the 9th time in 2017. We're live in Talladega, Alabama on Fox with Michael Waltrip, Kevin Harvick. I'm Adam Alexander. So far, 7 lead changes among 5 different drivers, and a good battle at the front right now. The 22 of Joey Logano, the 98 of Eric Almirola.
You knew that name would surface at the top, didn't you? Eric really can get it done on the super speedways. Had a great race at Richmond last week in the Cup Series, top 10 finish. Now he's charged from 23rd all the way to the lead.
Yeah, and I think that just goes to show you, as we were looking at the stats before the race, didn't really matter where you qualify here. You can have the possibility of having a good day no matter where.
Well, Elliott Sadler had the early contact, made a pit stop at lap 9, dropped back to 30th, drove to 14th. Now he's 28th, and here we go. Trouble on the track. 5 laps to go, stage 1, and the big one heading to turn 3 at Talladega. '21 of Daniel Hemrick. 24 of Scott Lagasse. Saw the 48 of Brennan Poole. A lot of damaged race cars.
Well, we've seen it. You can only dodge that bullet so many times. There's been a number of cars that have just been real edgy with the bump drafting, and you know, it's like everybody tries to feel their way back into it, and here we sit with several cars torn up.
What happened?
That's what I'm wondering, how this got triggered. I think we understand it. It was a bump draft that went wrong. See if we can catch a peek at where it starts.
Taped up car middle of the screen is Brennan Poole.
Yeah, and it looked like Brennan just came up to try to get side draft, and a lot of times what happens is the guy in the middle comes up to side draft, the guy on the top comes down to side draft, and next thing you know, they make a little bit of contact, and there they go.
42's Tyler Reddick, a rookie, spinning on the apron.
Daniel Suarez involved.
See Brandon Jones there, the red and white 33 with damage on the front end. Like the 42 of Reddick was able to stay off the wall, didn't have any heavy contact.
That was strange looking. I don't.
Well, it looks like the 48 came up and that car that was just on his right rear, and it kind of just barely turned him to turn up into the middle of traffic. It's hard to tell right there.
I thought Hemrick was going to save that thing. Got shot back across the track into the outside wall. Heavy damage. He is likely done.
Looked like he tried to squeeze in a pretty tight hole there, Mike.
Yeah. It's just so inviting. You got that big run. You don't want to give up the run. You try to get in a place that you probably shouldn't have.
Michael, you were talking about the near misses. Unable to avoid the big one here. Closing on the end of stage 1, and the caution is out for the second time at Talladega. Back at Talladega, and our second caution flag of the day is turned into our first red. Here's what happened. 9 cars involved back straightaway.
Just check this gap out right here. You can see Hemrick's car is over to the left just a bit, and then the 18 of Suarez here, I think, is the car that the 48 of Poole in the center is trying to side draft on. And watch him as he goes over. Looked like Hemrick maybe edged over a little bit and Poole to the right, and it causes this crash.
Well, and I think the 18 of Suarez being so far to the right, I think the 48 was kind of thinking, you know, I'm going to go up here, and he was sitting there trying to side draft, and then Hemrick's trying to side draft, and that's usually how a lot of these things start, by 2 people side drafting at the same time and meet in the wrong direction.
Right in the middle of all that, the 19 of Matt Tiff. Bottom of your screen just snuck by the 21 of Daniel Hemrick. He missed 3 or 4 opportunities to get involved in this accident big time. Somehow he was able to drive through.
And you remember, you go back earlier when the 48 of Poole got the damage from the near miss on lap with Elliott Sadler early in the race. That damaged the front of his car, and maybe without the perfect aerodynamics of the front, the thing just didn't have the speed he was looking for on the straightaway, and try to do that side draft move.
Here you see the 9 cars that were involved. I told you we're on the red flag, so you can't work on the car per NASCAR rules under the red flag. Once the red flag is lifted, all of these drivers involved in the accident will go on our 5-minute crash clock. You have to repair the damage prior to the 5-minute clock expiring, return to the track, and once we go green, reach minimum speed. If you can't do that, your day is done.
And you can see all the teams are just making a plan. Trying to figure out what's the best moves to make the quickest to get these repairs affected.
Well, and here's what I'm wondering. I don't know if this will come into play, but I see all the cars parked on the back stretch, and I see these cars on pit road. So I don't know if they drove to pit road from the wreck, or they pitted when they came by. But if they are on pit road right now, I think they'll have a very short time to work on their car, is my point. So they're going to waste some of that time of the repair time going up and down pit road, because you have 5 minutes, and that clock is from yellow line to yellow line on pit road. So if they throw the yellow here, there's going to be a very short amount of time to do this initial work.
Yeah, I think what happened is the caution came out going to turn 3 for everybody last time around. They came around, the crash cars came down pit road, leaders continued, and then once they got to the back straightaway, NASCAR said, we're going to put the red flag.
So here's where you got to make a decision. Do I take the time to fix my car and take my 5 minutes and just sit here, and maybe I get lapped one time and get the lucky dog? Or do I try to stay on the lead lap and waste some of that time up and down pit road?
I like plan A. Let's get these these repairs affected, get out there and have a car that we can run fast with.
But we know this. We're right here at the end of our opening stage, so there could be some strategy that plays out in that regard once the caution comes back out and we get going again. Let's go to Jamie Little.
And Daniel Hemrick is finished for the day, his first race in the Xfinity Series here at Talladega. What exactly led to you being finished?
Obviously, I think everybody just not using their head that early in the race. I understand we're coming up on the end of a stage, but I thought everybody would watch Daytona and see how few cars finish without accidents, and just everybody being, in my opinion, just too aggressive. We're trying to bide our time with our Blue Gate Bank Chevrolet down the bottom lane, just letting the race, log laps. And I thought we were able to miss it whenever the 18, whoever it was, got turned down across and hit me in the right rear. And that was the end of our day. Ripped the right rear truck arm mount out of our car, and that's it. But just really disappointed in the way everybody approached the race today. And just really proud of my guys for the effort. We had a really fast Chevrolet. All the RCR cars are fast, so hats off to everybody back at the shop. ECR for giving us good power, and roll on to the next one.
Thanks for your time, Daniel.
Back-to-back top 5 finishes on the pole to 3rd last week at Richmond. Early exit today for Daniel Hemrick, the rookie from Kannapolis, North Carolina.
Want to see what Joey's up to?
I think we should.
Hey, Joey Logano, it's Michael and Kevin up in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
I gotcha. What's up?
Well, it's been an interesting start to this race. A big crash just now, a couple of near misses. What are you seeing out there? What's going on with the bump drafting?
I tell you, the draft is a lot different than what I've been used to in the Xfinity Series last few years. It's definitely changed up quite a bit. And just learning what you can and can't do right now is kind of the biggest thing. You know, as far as how hard you can push, you know, what lanes kind of work. You know, I tried to string out the bottom there thinking I was going to get something, but the top lane's pretty strong. So right now it's just kind of learning what you can and can't do.
I got you. Kevin made a great point. It looked like we could see the adjustment you made with your pushing. You're out to the right now. Did that calm things down for you?
Yeah, it's okay for me. I hate that I got into the one there. It's usually a stable car, but obviously this package has changed quite a bit of things there. So hopefully his car's all right. He usually gets back up here pretty quick. He's a good drafter, so I'm sure I'll see him soon here.
All right, broadcast buddy. Thank you. We'll talk to you later.
All right, have fun up there, guys. Thanks.
Joey Logano offering some analysis inside the car. He'll be with us on NASCAR Race Hub Tuesday. This guy can't get away from our Fox microphone. So you saw the damage repair being made on those cars on pit road. We've lifted the red under yellow. Pit road going to open this time. So these guys can come down, get their service. We're hopeful we'll get the one to go. We're going to get a couple, at least maybe one lap of green here before we end stage 1. That's going to be great.
It definitely mixes it up.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think they all have to pit right here. I guess they don't all have to pit, but I think, you know, a lot of them might choose to pit unless we've had enough caution laps to where they might make both stages. Who knows?
Hadn't thought of that, but that's a possibility because you know we're going to get another caution here in a few laps. Some do stay out. Here's Ty Dillon, Matt.
And Ty Dillon goes around Bubba Wallace. His issue is that left front damage, but no broken parts. Meanwhile, the 3, they're going to make some chassis adjustments on the 3. His bigger issue, the radio. It keeps breaking up. Oh, major issue on the 2, leaving the pit with equipment, making the adjustment late. Chris.
And Justin Allgaier also in pit lane. 19, Matt Tifft in pit lane, going to do a 4-tire stop here. All in all, he's pretty happy with his race car. He said in the draft, that car moving around way too much.
Tiff's so lucky, though, Chris, because he was right in the middle of the accident that happened on the back straightaway, and I don't see a mark on that car. And Larry, Kevin just brought up a really good point. For the drivers that stayed out here, when you think about all the caution laps we've had, plus what we'll get at the end of stage 1, could you be thinking of going the distance stage 1 and stage 2 before you make a pit stop?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to bank on a lot of cautions because think about this. We also had 3 pace laps that would come out of this tank of fuel. So, you know, my feeling was pitting there really didn't buy you a lot because really you need to get much deeper into the race than we are now to make the full race on one more stop. So I didn't see a lot being bought there by pitting, but yeah, these drivers that stayed out, they maybe are starting to think I might can make it to lap 50 with the caution laps we're going to have because we know we're going to have more here at the end of stage 1.
Don't you love it? Strategy just all over the board already. Guys that didn't think anything about running both the first 2 stages without pitting now might be a possibility.
Chance for some stage points. Our pole sitter Blake Cook going to restart 4th here. He has not pitted.
It doesn't look like the lead car moving up and blocking the top lanes working like the Cup cars.
You can't block quick enough. I don't know yet. It's hard to read the run before it actually gets to you.
You don't stall that lane out. They can still get to your bumper and give you a shot and then duck underneath you and pass you. That's what I'm seeing.
You just like to be able to have something to bounce, some words of wisdom to bounce off people. You know, what are you seeing? How does it look from the spotter stand? What do you think I should do? The crew chiefs are obviously watching really close on Fox to see any moves that can be made. Those guys were just bouncing ideas off each other.
Here we come to the Geico restart zone. Going to be 2 laps to go, stage 1. When the green flag goes in the air, front row, Eric Almirola, Eric Jones, series regulars up there looking for points. Blake Cook, Justin Allgaier, Michael Annette, Dakota Armstrong. Green once again at Talladega.
And I don't really know what was happening on that restart there, but the back half of the field was as disorganized, as unorganized as I've ever seen on the restart. So I don't know if they're just trying to get to the end of this stage and stay out of trouble or what.
You ever crash trying to get to the back? You know,
I have, actually.
That might have been what that was all about. They just didn't want to get going because they saw how crazy things have been so far.
The two-car Ben Kennedy had to start at the rear, removing pit equipment. You heard Matt talk about that during his pit stop. It'll be one lap to go on the stage when they come back around through the tri-oval. Eric Almirola leading him, Logano right behind him, and they're trying to get after it in that outside lane. Eric Jones leading the charge there.
And here sits Justin Allgaier towards the front of the pack. You know, you got a couple guys up there that really don't care about stage points. They just want to be up front leading, and he's tucked right behind him.
Well, he'd like to grab a playoff point, though, try to win this stage. He's going to be able to make his way inside of Joey. Joey looked like he thought he had a run to get to the outside. It didn't work. Allgaier filled that hole. Now can he go get Almirola?
Allgaier, one of the 4 series regulars to win a playoff point in 2017 via a stage victory. Came last week at Richmond when he won stage 2. In position to maybe do it again here. Trapped on the inside behind Eric Almirola. Kane jumping out of line.
What do you got to lose? You're coming to the end of the stage trying to pick up a position.
Stage 1 complete at Talladega. Eric Almirola gets the win. Joey Logano second. Then it's Justin Allgaier, Eric Jones, and Blake Cook, your top 5. Brendan Gaughan, Casey Kane, Michael Annett, J.J. Yaley, and Ryan Sieg finishes inside the top 10. Central Alabama, a beautiful, quiet portion of the country, but a couple of weekends a year you can hear the roar. A Ford won stage 1. It was Eric Almirola. So with that, we get our Ford track facts. 7 of the last 8 races won with a last lap pass here. Always exciting. And Joey Logano has won 2 of the last 5 and 2 of the last 3 when it comes to the Monster Energy Series. Ryan Reed won at Daytona. The Lilly Diabetes Ford driver talking about his fight with type 1 diabetes and the new partnership as Lilly Diabetes is the official health partner of NASCAR.
We're in our 4th year of our partnership with Lilly Diabetes, and it's been such a great partnership that's done so much to spread awareness about diabetes and working with your doctor, take care of yourself. To see them be the official diabetes health partner of NASCAR is so cool. So if you want to learn more about our partnership with Lilly Diabetes, the official diabetes health partner of NASCAR, go to lillydiabetes.com/drive.
Diagnosed with diabetes at age 17, told he would never race again, and here we are 6 years later. He celebrated twice on the big stage at Daytona. So what do we think here as we get set for pit stops? Eric Almirola won that opening stage, and when you look, 7 of those guys inside the top 10 have not made a pit stop yet.
I think they got to come.
I'm confused. Stage racing has added so much to it because you just don't know what the crew chiefs are thinking and the strategy and the way that things are going to go, but we're about to find out.
Basically have 3 different strategies right now. The guys that came down at lap 9 are opening caution. Those that pitted at lap 22 when the pit lane opened after the red. And those that are yet to make a stop, here they come now, led by Eric Almirola. Chris?
And now Justin Allgaier going to hit pit road. Overall, pretty happy with his race car. Said it's sucking up well just to about everybody out there except Casey Kane. And he's wondering why his car reacting so different to Casey Kane's car on the racetrack. But overall, happy with the car. 2 tires. Jamie?
98 of Eric Almirola saying he's really fast, but he has to rev it super high to exit his pit box. Thinks he has a carburetor issue, doesn't want to stall. 22 with Joey Logano, happy with the car, putting some tires on it, filled it up with fuel. And Eric Jones, everybody else. Eric Jones took 4 tires there, guys.
Good balance, though, Jamie. Some drivers taking fuel only. Saw that out of Casey Kane. Others taking 2 tires. Joey Logano, the first one off pit road that got 4 fresh ones.
What about Eric Almirola? He came to pit road leading the race. He's going to see a whole different story when he gets back on the racetrack. A lot of guys staying out, differing strategies. Let's put him back in the field.
Hey, Eric, this is Kevin and Michael up in the Fox booth. Congratulations on winning that first stage there. How much of a learning curve has it been with these cars and the new rules that we have this year about how hard you can push, where to drive them, the stability? How's it all going out there?
So far, it's going pretty good for our fresh from Florida Ford Mustang. My car drives really good. The old package, I thought everybody's car drove good, and now it seems like handling seems to be more of an issue. I see quite a few cars dancing around out here quite a bit when they get pushed, but this fresh from Florida Ford Mustang seems really stable, really fast. So proud of everybody for bringing a really good car. And Doug Yates brought the ponies here to Talladega, so hopefully we can get back up there and race some more. But the pack is just surging a lot, and cars are getting to each other's bumpers. And when they get to some of the cars' bumpers, you see a lot of cars having trouble holding on. But so far, our car's been good.
It's Michael. Your reward for winning stage 1, you get to restart 21st and try to do it all over again. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. We started 23rd at the beginning of the race and was able to make our way up through there. So it helps when you have a fast car.
A lot of give and take here at Talladega. Be fun to watch that 98 when we go green once again. A lot of drivers stayed out. Michael Annett, J.J. Ailey, Ty Dillon, Cole Custer, Ross Chastain, the top 5. We had a big one, a red flag, but when the smoke cleared, it was Eric Almirola who got it done in stage 1.
When you find yourself in the middle of a pack here at Talladega, 3 wide, 10, 12 rows deep, it becomes so intense it's hard to even describe.
You're kind of like in a windstorm, going 190 miles an hour, but also you're hitting patches of ice.
5 o'clock rush hour traffic when you're driving down, except for you're not going 20 miles an hour because you're slow, you're going 200.
You're at everyone else's disposal, right? So you don't really have much control over what happens.
You won't experience in any other form of racing. It's pretty wild. We get to do it a couple times a year.
And because of that pack racing, because of all that craziness, it creates this, the big one.
Yeah, 9 cars involved, but this is typical. They're 3 wide, and you know, we normally don't see the big wrecks in the corners here, Shannon. It's normally on the middle of the straightaway, just like that wreck right there.
So we've seen the big one, we've seen the pack racing, but we've also seen strategy.
The strategy is making my head spin. I was very confused why more drivers didn't come to pit road when that first caution happened. Michael Annett in the 5 car, who's actually the race leader, he got stage points at the end of stage 1. He's the one driver that's on that strategy.
We've got some guys that came down on lap 9, some on 22, some on 28. Good luck with this, Adam.
Yeah, and some have 2 fresh tires, others have 4, and we should also mention at the end of stage 1, when the caution came out, the free pass went to Darrell Wallace Jr., one of the drivers involved in that accident over on the back straightaway. And if you go back to Daytona, it was his teammate Ryan Reed who hit just about everything in that race, and eventually he was able to get the checkered flag. So right now it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We're getting set to go in stage 2. When we are done, live from Talladega right here on Fox, it's the Monster Energy Series on track for qualifying. And later this evening, Major League Baseball, 7 p.m. Eastern, Cubs and Yankees. Your Yankees, Kevin. So go qualify on the pole and then go watch your Yankees on Fox beat the Cubs, huh?
Well, I think that sounds like a good plan to me. I'd love to see Coach Girardi and those boys win a game today. So.
I'm sorry for Matt Yoakum's sake. It's not the Tigers playing later tonight on Fox, you know? What's up, Matt?
And there we go. You know what? I thought that was a dramatic pause. We know everyone loves America's team, the Tigers, but Casey Kane, he's looking for a win here, and they pitted to top him off with fuel, but more importantly, why they hit pit road, he was not comfortable with the way that car's balance was, the splitter on the ground, causing the car to be very uncomfortable. Made a wedge adjustment that should help. Chris?
Last year's winner, Elliott Sadler, made a little bit of a long stop this last time down pit lane. The team still addressing the right side body work after that lap 9 wreck, but also making a left front shock change. He's just saying that car is just way too edgy in the pack, especially side-by-side racing. So the team taking a little extra time, seeing if a shock change will settle down the 1 car.
Now, we heard from the driver's seat during one of our breaks, Elliott talking about his car wants to get on that left front tire. The suspension wants to head over to the left front, and he's thinking that's what's turning him sideways with the bump drafting, so that's why they made that adjustment. You're allowed to get under the hood and adjust your shock, and that's what that team did, hoping that it'll be more stable when he gets those bumps from behind. Do you buy into that, Kevin?
Well, I think you definitely want your car to be as stable as possible. Like Joey was talking about, he felt like his car was stable enough to be pushed, and Elliott obviously doesn't feel like his car is stable enough to be pushed comfortably.
So we added a lap, but the caution lights are out on the pace car now. That means we'll go green this time. Listen to some of these names restarting in the top 10. Chris Cochran, Martin Waugh is up there. Names we don't normally hear. Front row, Michael Annett, Ty Dillon. As drivers make their way through the Geico restart zone, we crank it up on Fox. Say business is picking up as we begin stage 2. They're getting after it on this restart.
Morgan Shepherd down on the apron there with some issues with his 89 car.
I think one other thing that mixed it up is you saw a lot of those cars that you mentioned before the restart there had stayed out. You had a lot of cars that were really fast in the back that had just pitted, and everybody was kind of meeting in the middle as to who was going to the front and who was going to the back, and it got dicey there.
You know, you talked about the middle, and in the middle is Martin Waugh from Canada. He's running up in the lead pack. This is an opportunity for guys we rarely get to see near the front get up there, and they love taking advantage of it.
Joey Logano made a pit stop under that last caution. Restarted outside the top 15. He has worked his way up to second. And watch the 16 of Ryan Reed here on the restart. As soon as we cross the start-finish line, he goes to the outside, and he was on a move.
Yeah, and he's got a great pusher in Justin Allgaier. Those two are going to work together, and watch the momentum they have. They're able to squeeze inside of Ross Chastain, who is trying to block them, and it's not over yet. Look at this run.
We were talking about this earlier, Michael, in some of our situations that we'd been in the past and pulling out to pass right there. You see the 16 with the 7, and every move that he made, the guy behind him was following him. But oh man, how that can change. When you make that second or third move or even the first move, if that whole pack doesn't follow you, you don't look so good.
Update on William Byron coming off his first bad finish of the year last week at Richmond when he was 30th. Involved in that accident earlier today. Could not meet minimum speed. He is done for the afternoon. Joey Logano outside. Little push from Brendan Gaughan. Down on the inside. Black, yellow, number 3. That is Ty Dillon for Richard Childress Racing.
And I'll tell you what's really making me nervous about watching all this is all the lane changing.
Yes.
You know, I see Logano at the front changing lanes. I see guys in the middle and the back of the pack going from high to low. And that's what gets us in trouble when we have these accidents in the middle of the straightaway. Because here, as you go further down the straightaway, once you get to about halfway and 3/4, all that momentum starts to build up and all the pack starts to come back together right before you get to the corner. And a lot of times that's where we see a lot of our wrecks.
Well, and also think about the yellow car in the middle, the 90 of Waugh that we talked about. He doesn't have the speed in the 90 car that some of our leaders do. He qualified well back in the field. He's used strategy and draft to stay up front. But as he falls off the cars that he's trailing, the others are catching him more aggressively, wanting to give him that bump, that draft to get toward the front. Waugh is in a tough spot, I think.
But I tell you what, that's what's great about Talladega is you can position a slower car in the middle of that pack and be competitive. And that's why when they fire him up here, everybody's got a shot to win.
Waugh's like, Michael, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm behind Justin Allgaier and ahead of Casey Kane. I'm exactly where I want to be. But you can see he just doesn't have the speed to pull up on the back bumper of the car ahead of him.
To his outside, the 42 of Tyler Reddick. And who is it at the tail end there of that pack that's got a problem? Is that the 24 Scott Lagasse? Yeah, he was caught up in that accident. Looks like they taped up the car, but perhaps some of the tape, the bear bond pulling away, and that left rear fender about to come apart.
And that car, that tells you all you need to know about the draft right there. Look how damaged that machine is, but he's right in the lead pack.
Here's Eric Almirola, restarted 21st. After winning the opening stage, coming to pit road for 4 tires, he said, I'll be back to the front. I've got a fast race car, and here he is, top 5.
Yeah, he really had a lot of confidence that he was going to drive right back up there. I think that tells you, like you said, Adam, how confident he is in that race car to be able to maneuver it and position it in traffic. And right now, he's worked his way right back to the front.
Third in line, bottom lane, the 5 of Michael Annett. 3 consecutive top 10 finishes for him. Make it 2 consecutive top 10 finishes. Looking for his 3rd and doing a nice job this afternoon. Led at the beginning of stage 2. First time he's ever led here. First time he's led in 2017.
A lot of lane changes, a lot of, I like the word that Almirola used to describe all the energy, how you can surge ahead, especially on the straightaways. That's why the racing has been so intense, and we've seen so many lead changes today.
See, Logano pushed out front, and one of those helping him since we went back under the green flag, the 7 of Justin Allgaier.
And Allgaier's been very aggressive in pushing the 22. That to me scares me a little bit when you're offset to the left side of the rear bumper of the car in front of you. That's when the further left you go, the higher risk it is. And he was definitely pushing him, and you could see the back of the 22 dancing around there.
And that 22 car, Joey said it takes push as well. And he almost got turned around. So that tells you what an aggressive push Allgaier put on him.
And it seems to me like these cars, since they have taken the downforce off, they're harder to push. But I don't think that you can see the crown that these cars have in the back bumper. That back bumper on TV looks very straight, but you can see right there, there's a little bit of a crown to it, and it's really hard to push if you get off center.
Can't believe only 10 laps to go in stage 2. Let's hear from William Byron out of the race, Jamie.
Yes, he's officially finished. Now, you guys tried there, but what put you out?
Yeah, we just had the incident there. I don't know how many laps in, probably 20 laps in. I think the 48 got into the outside lane, and we just had nowhere to go. So unfortunate, not how we wanted this to go, but it's part of Talladega, part of the restricted play racing, but we'll get him at Charlotte.
Just too much damage to that 9 car.
Jamie, we've talked all weekend long about how strong Joey Logano is when it comes to Talladega. He's flexing his muscles right now. He's led 9 laps so far, and he's in front with 9 to go.
Hello, welcome. So Chevy is the most awarded car company 3 years in a row.
Wow.
Really? Let's see how quickly you can read through all their awards.
Oh, gosh. A lot of pressure.
You ready? Go.
2017 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Kelley Blue Book 2016 Best Resale Value.
U.S. News Best Car for the Money. 10 Best blah, blah, blah. 2017 IIHS Top Safety.
Only about 90 more to go.
2015 2017 North American Car of the Year.
That's a lot of awards. Who would have thought?
Great, now I'm gonna have to go buy a new car.
What goes around comes around. And as a sport that races in laps, we know that a clean race pays off in the finish. It's why NASCAR commits to green programs and biofuel, like Sunoco Green E15 so we can offset our carbon emissions. We're not going to stop making a difference, and neither should you. Learn how you can help by visiting NASCAR.com/green today.
Before you open your eyes, at Smithfield, we're busy slow smoking. Before you sizzle, we hand select and hand trim. Before you were born, we gave birth to flavor, which you'll find in every bite of our naturally delicious hickory smoked bacon. Flavor hails from Smithfield.
I'm here to demonstrate the incredible stopping power of Duralast GT brake pads. And that is Joey Logano, coming at me at more than 200 miles per hour. But I'm not nervous. They're just like brake pads we sell at AutoZone. They got carbon fiber technology and a V-slot design which reduces wear and increases stopping power.
Introducing the new line of Duralast GT brakes.
Woo! Ha! Nailed it!
Proven tough from the tracks to the streets. Sold only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Every lap timed to 100th of a second. Every gallon measured down to the last drop. Every tire holding till its last tread. Each moment building with pressure. But no matter the precision put into a car or a race, the path to victory is through total chaos.
Unbelievable.
Only 6 laps to go in our second stage here at Talladega for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Joey Logano out front using that bottom lane for now. He has been looking in the rear view mirror a lot. Defensive driving, a clinic being put on out front by the 22.
Look at those eyeballs. You talking about intense and focused. Cole Custer right in this lead pack, currently running in the 6th position. He's pretty safe right now, Kevin. He can just protect that yellow line. Doesn't really have to worry a whole lot with what's going on in the mirror. You can see him checking it out there. But if you're Joey Logano, that's all you're looking at is out that mirror.
Whew. See, Ryan Reed went to the high side. Ty Dillon went with him. He crossed over, and here he is inside of the 3. That's for second.
And there is just so much going on in the cars. I know on TV it looks like they're, you know, riding around in a pack, but this is so difficult to do well. It's difficult to do when you don't do it so well, just for the fact that you're looking in your mirror, you're looking out the back of the car, you're looking out the side of the car. You see him going back and forth on the side of the straightaway. You're bump drafting right there, and you see those cars surge ahead. So there is just so much to look at and do super speedway racing, but you spend a lot of your time looking backwards.
Now, there's not really time there for a spotter to say clear, right, Kevin? Reed just saw that gap and went for it.
Yeah, and as the race goes, you just get a better feel for where your mirrors are, what's going on, and how much room that you have. And you become comfortable enough usually by the end of the race, or even before halfway, I guess you could say in Ryan Reed's case, that you can pull down there and do what you need to do. So it's usually a split decision, and that one was tight.
It's close.
4 laps to go here in our second stage, and Michael, I start thinking about the series regulars that are up there and those playoff points that can be on the line. One here for whoever wins it. If it's a series regular, Allgaier is in the hunt. You got Ryan Reed there, Michael Annett, and Allgaier making a push in that outside lane. The yellow 7 trying to get the lead from Logano.
And what happens here is as these guys get more aggressive, those blocks that Logano has been making in those lanes, the pace of those lanes is changing now because they're getting tighter and more aggressive, and they're pushing each other forward faster, so it's harder to make those blocks.
Gonna be 3 to go this time, and the 16 of Ryan Reed appears aggressive, Chris.
Yeah, Adam, I was talking to Ryan Reed during qualifying. We were talking about the differences between here and Daytona, and he said at Daytona, for whatever reason, we just get good results. Here, we've always had fast race cars, but I always get caught up in the big ones. So today, it's going to be about getting to the end. I'm going to be aggressive to try and work my way to the front, but once I get to the front, I'm just going to focus on protecting the car.
Outside of Reed right now, the 88 of Casey Kane. Haven't said his name in a while. Eric Jones a part of the lead mix. It's getting good. Down the back straightaway in the 74 car of Mike Harmon, a lap down. This is going to get interesting.
Needs to hug that yellow line, make sure he gives these guys plenty of room. They're going to be 4 wide, and that's tough for even some of the best drivers in the world. You know, stage points are great, but those playoff points are what it's all about. You keep them forever like luggage. You'll carry those with you all throughout the playoffs, and that's what Justin Allgaier is focused on right now.
Well, and the good news right behind him is his teammate, Casey Kane, who doesn't really care about stage points. He wants to see his team succeed, and he wants to see his teammate there have the best chance at winning the championship. So most likely, he's going to do everything he can to push him towards this stage win.
That's the best thing that Justin Allgaier's ever seen in his rearview mirror at this point in the race. I got an ally, I got a teammate, someone that's going to help me hold these boys off.
He'll help him now, but at the end of the final stage, totally different ball game when the black and white checkered flag is in the air.
And that theory
he's going to go all the way to the bottom, but he's clear. He's not. He's clear, so watch him.
One lap to go. Stage 2.
Here comes the 3. There's 3 wide behind him. Back to the bottom here.
There goes Ryan Reed.
They're wrecking back there. Back to the bottom.
Martin Waugh involved. Oh! Chris Cockrum, Cole Custer. Fourth caution of the day. And it comes out as we cross the start-finish line with 1 lap to go in stage number 2, and it's been his story all year. Cole Custer, wrong place, wrong time, damage, and likely done.
Looks like Reed was able to drive away with a lot of damage on his 16 car. Pole sitter Blake Cook with issues.
Get it back here. We can get it going if you can get it back here by looking at the TV.
Brendan Gaughan.
He was a part of the initial crash.
He was going for 4th. There you see Scott Lagasse, heavy damage. Gaughan, who has only 1 top 10 this season. It came at Daytona when he was 5th. There's Chris Cockrum. Window net is down. Good for him in the 25, making his 3rd start of the year. Here's what happened.
Like a bump draft going wrong. Eric Almirola was behind the 16 car. You can see Chris Cockrum nearly sneaking through there. Was there contact?
Man, it sure looked like he got loose, Michael. It looked like he went down and came back up. Hard to tell.
So close. Wow, that almost looks like he just went up to maybe.
Looked like he was going down and coming back up, and if it was contact, it was slight.
One down on the bottom right here. 1 to go. Nothing else coming here. I don't even know what happened. I was turned around in the fence before I even knew what happened.
Sounds like he didn't realize if there was contact. He didn't feel it.
Stage 2 has ended. Justin Allgaier gets the win. A number of other series regulars in trouble.
In a tailgate town. In a tailgate town. In a tailgate town.
Stage 2 is complete here at Talladega, and as they came across the start-finish line with 1 lap to go, this accident with the 98 of Eric Almirola, 16 of Ryan Reed, and many others. And we just heard this from Eric Almirola's radio.
I'm sorry. I was trying to give him a push. I just caught him on the left rear quarter. My bad.
Well, that answers our question, Michael.
Slight contact and at 200 miles an hour, and with the aerodynamics and these cars driving like they do, it just takes a slight.
Well, I tell you what, the hard thing is, too, when that car gets to moving around, and these cars seem to be so easy to turn right now, you just have to be precise with it.
Eric Almirola wins stage 1. Stage 2 to Justin Allgaier for the 2nd week in a row, Michael.
Let's talk to him. Hey, Justin, it's Michael and Kevin up here in the Fox booth. Do you hear us?
Yeah, Michael, go ahead, buddy.
Well, an awesome performance at Richmond last weekend. Came up a bit short, but another stage win for you here in Talladega. How's the car feeling? Is it stable when you're getting all these bumps and pushes?
Yeah, you know, Michael, we've got a great helmets Mayonnaise Chevy today. And, you know, just really proud of these guys. Everybody back at Junior Motorsports, Hendrick and DeShop. I mean, we got a car that really has run well no matter what lane we've been in, especially out front. It really runs good. So that's a testament to the guys that work on this car every week. And, you know, just a matter of managing traffic. I got a great spotter up there, TJ Majors. He's been kind of guiding me through all this. And it's just a matter of finishing off now. You know, we made it through the end of the first 2 stages. And it's going to still be crazy coming to this checker flag later on. But I think we got the car that is capable of staying out front. We'd love to get a Camaro in victory lane today.
Well, Justin, it's been very entertaining to watch, and I think that the hard part to explain to the people is just how hard it is to manage those runs and maintain what you have at the front. How much different when we've gotten towards the end of these stages is it to manage the front of the pack as far as the way that the lines are coming and trying to block and the pace of those lines when they all get connected?
Yeah, you know, that first stage, I actually got shuffled out because of the way that all the runs were coming. And this last stage here, we were fortunate that, you know, we were able to kind of be the lead car and maneuver a bit back and forth between the lanes. But, you know, when they get formed up and guys know that there's something at the end of these stages and they're pushing each other and they're in line and they're doing the things that they need to do properly, it's hard to block them, I'll be honest with you. I got out there a few times just a little bit too far and wasn't sure that I was going to be able to fend them off. But, you know, this Xfinity Series is so much fun right now. We got a lot of great drivers and just having a blast. So hats off to Xfinity for all they do for the sport. I hope the fans at home and everybody that's here at the racetracks getting their money's worth, because it's definitely been a lot of fun from behind the wheel.
All right, buddy. Thanks for chatting with us. I just got a text from your boss. He said a mayonnaise sandwich is yours if you can get to victory lane later today.
I'll be honest with you. We'll have mayonnaise sandwiches for everybody that comes to victory lane if we get down there this afternoon.
It's a banana mayonnaise sandwich, right? Okay, so a series regular in Justin Allgaier wins stage 2. And right before we got the caution, some aggressive moves from this guy, Ryan Reed. Here's how his spotter was helping him worry less with a Liberty Mutual insurance spotter coverage.
157, 20 from the line, 10, 5, now, 7 coming with you here, top 3, 762 with him, 2 back. You're clear to 90, 7's clear, 7's clear. Keep going, 62 with him, pull off the 4, don't let him block you, go middle, quick middle, still there, clear high, always high, 1 back, 7, 62 with him, go with the momentum, 7 with you, still 1 back. 7 still with you, half back here, tight, still inside.
And now we go to the spotter stand, and this is our view, courtesy of our spotter, Kevin Clark. This has got to be the toughest place to spot an event on the circuit.
How do you like digesting all that information, Kevin? Seemed like a lot.
Well, it is a lot of information, but as a driver, you want to hear it all and you want to take it in. So you've got your eyes working forward and backwards, and then you got the spotter telling you what's around you. It's a lot to digest.
What have you got for us, Chris?
Well, Brendan Gaughan trying to shake this tough start to 2017. Obviously not going to happen today, Brendan. Early on in the race, you decided to go to the back because things were a little bit too crazy. You were back near the front there. What happened?
No, we made all the right moves there with the South Point Chevy. We were in the front, didn't like what I saw, bailed out just in time to miss the wreck with people that were driving, you know, just over their head. And then in the end here, we were running for the stage win with my teammate Ty Dillon. You know, we were in the right spot, got ourselves back up there, and just restrictor plate racing. It happens. Great racetrack, great, fun place to be. I love being here, but that's just the ills of restrictor plates. Sometimes it's not in your control.
Well, now we got a couple weeks off. Maybe this team can have a chance to regroup. Matt?
And over here at the Infield Care Center, Scott Lagasse Jr. has been checked and released. So you've seen the replay and you lived it. Walk us through.
You know, I don't know what happened there. We're just trying to get up there and kind of get our lap back after the first one getting caught up. So, you know, I hate it for Mr. Whitener and the guys on the team. It's a great race team. Really work hard and wanted to get them a good job today.
Adam?
Tough break for Scott Lagasse Jr. Drove that 24 at Daytona to a top 10 finish. So here we are under the red flag. We've ended our second stage. What do you see, Larry Mack? Everybody going to come to pit road here and get back on a level playing field in regard to strategy?
Yeah, and I guess for the crew chiefs, having this red flag gives you another opportunity to think a little longer about it. But, you know, the window does not open to be able to make it to the end to somewhere around lap 68 or 69. That's 44, 45 to go. And, of course, Justin Allgaier, Casey Kane, Joey Logano, Eric Almirola, they have shown with fast race cars you can make your way from the rear to the front. I guess if I was calling this race, I would go ahead and pit now, get that car full of Sunoco fuel, at least put 2 right side Goodyear tires on it, and then it's all the stage racing's over. It's all about the checkered flag, and we're going to have probably about 59 or 60 laps to go to the end of the race.
And we're going to have 31 cars on the lead lap, 31st right now, 1 lap down Daniel Suarez, but he will get the free pass. So later tonight on Fox, 7 p.m. Eastern time, a good one. 2 tonight at 7 on Fox. Jamie?
And Chris Bryant is a Las Vegas guy, so definitely a lot of us pulling for him. And speaking of baseball bats, they're going to have to bring him out here for our pole sitter. Blake Cook, you guys got a lot of damage there, but Chris, you had a chance to look at it on our monitors. What all do you have to fix here coming up?
It kind of looks like we're back at Daytona. You know, that's product of being in the Xfinity Series. A lot of racing going on. This stage racing is cool, but you know, our leaf filter, gutter protection, Chevrolet's been fast all day. If we can't get it fixed, you're right. Everybody knew we was here. Had a really fast car, but we have one of the best teams in the garage. So I'm hoping we can fix it, but we'll give it a shot.
Well, you guys definitely have the best attitude. Look at this, Adam. The jeans on a crew chief. They're laid back and having fun.
It's casual Saturday, Jamie, here at Talladega. All right, the cars have fired up once again, so we'll go back under caution. And I would guess we'll probably open pit road when they come back around here. Give these teams an opportunity to come down and get service. And as Larry said, final stage is 63 laps, fuel window somewhere just north of 40. So you know you pit here, you're going to have to come one more time. And while this race does remind you a lot of what we saw in Daytona, 2 red flags, 3rd time this year actually. We've had multiple red flags in a race. Not as many overall cautions and 31 cars still on the lead lap. We had 20 DNFs in the season opener. So when you have that many cars on the lead lap, that means the draft is going to be healthy and it's going to be very, very entertaining when we get going in this last stage. And you saw Ryan Reed drive to the garage. The damage, that signifies the end of his afternoon. Justin Allgaier wins our 2nd stage, and the runner-up in the 3-car, Ty Dillon.
Guys in the pace car listen to Celine Dion. Can y'all believe that? TJ just came up and said, Allgaier's like, what's wrong with Ty? He's trying to run up to the pace car. What you doing? I said, who knows? Nice, cool. The AC's working. They got Celine Dion blasting. I asked them if they wanted a drag race, but they knew it wasn't going to be much of a race with the Chevy.
They must have had it blasting if he could hear it in the race car, right?
Right on.
I mean, I don't know how this works, but I'm just guessing. You put that helmet on, you're in the race car, a little noise from the crowd perhaps, and he could still hear the radio in the pace car.
Maybe he's just hearing things. I mean, Talladega's a lot of strange things happen here.
I put my helmet on and I can't hear much. And I take my helmet off and I still can't hear much. So he's got good hearing apparently.
He's young.
He's young.
Sometimes with you drivers, I don't know if it's you can't hear, you just choose not to listen.
Yeah,
you know?
selective hearing. I've been accused of that before.
So pit road was closed. Everybody going to obviously stay out here, and we'll go around one more time. Look at Ryan Reed. He knows how good his race car was, had a good qualifying effort, and he said it before the race today. I've been so good at this style of racing, just can't catch a break here at Talladega, and he's going to be disappointed once again.
And it won't be the last time he's disappointed when he leaves Talladega if he does this for a long time, because this place right here, in my opinion, it's 50-50. You either wind up in that position wrecked in the garage or you have a good day.
And just the thing about Blake Cook, you know, as crew chief Chris Reich said, they knew we were here today. We had a fast car. The same thing for Ryan Reed. He was up in the front of the pack when it all went bad.
You know, this weekend the last for a while in the Xfinity Series. 2 weekends off. Trucks will help entertain with the Monster Energy Series cars next weekend at Kansas. And in 2 weeks, it's a home game for NASCAR's Top Shelf. No, not the Coke 600, the Monster Energy NASCAR All-Star Race. Get your tickets for the May 19th and 20th weekend at charlottemotorspeedway.com/tickets, or you can call Marcus Smith and the gang at 1-800-455-FANS. $1 million on the line. Has Delana spent that money yet, just in case you're able to get the trophy?
Well, the coolest part about it, if we win $1 million, Busch is giving a fan $1 million if we win the race, so that would be awesome.
When I won it, I spent all my money, but I still have the trophy, so that's my favorite part.
I mentioned when the caution came out, Cole Custer disappointed again, but he's driving away. That's a positive sign. Maybe they can keep that car going today. Pretty heavy damage on that right side. Of course, once we go back under green, he'll have to meet minimum speed under NASCAR's new crash clock rules.
Yeah, and really the main thing right now is to make sure that the tires aren't going to rub so that you can get to that minimum speed. So if the caution comes back out and you've already met minimum speed, you can do a little more repair work on it to work on the speed. But man, we've seen a lot of them tore up and run just fine here in the past few years.
That one looks like it will be fine to me if the tires don't rub like you said, because the front looked okay. And really, if you just hit the win with that front end, you can win the race as long as it isn't damaged too badly.
Pit road is open. Here they are, Matt.
A lot of comments about the preferred lane. Ty Dillon has the speed in the middle and the high lane, but not on the bottom. They're taking left sides this stop. They took rights on the previous. Casey Kane, they're going to go 4 tires on this stop. Chris?
And Justin Allgaier, happy with his race car, said he's got a lot of speed. His biggest issue, he's got a blind spot in his mirrors on the left rear corner during that red flag there. He asked his spotter, TJ Majors, I need a little bit of help back there. Jamie.
Eric Almirola in the 98 took 4 tires last time, 4 tires this time. Car has been good. Apologize to the 16 for turning him.
There you see the race off pit road. Justin Allgaier, the first to drive off. Eric Jones behind him. Just about time to put the green flag in the air. Final stage on the way from Talladega, Alabama.
So don't forget to stay tuned after the race for the eBay Motors post-race show, wrapping up all the action from here in Talladega. There has been lots of action so far. You know, every time we come to Talladega, there's always the potential for the big one, Larry Mack, and we almost saw it early, lap 5, when this happened.
Yeah, our points leader, Elliott Sadler, in that blue #1, Joey Logano, just kind of a wrong type of a bump draft, like to have taken a lot of cars out right there.
And then it did happen. This lap 9, Casey Kane moves the 48 of Brendan Poole up the racetrack, gets into the 18, and mayhem begins.
Yeah, 9 drivers involved in this big wreck here. 5 laps to go before the end of stage 1 when this happened.
We would have a red flag once that was lifted, as Larry Mack just said. 5 laps, Eric Almirola went to win stage 1. Then we had a 7-car wreck in the final stages of lap 2. The 16 gets turned by the 98 of Eric Almirola, and so many cars collected in this one.
Well, we're just seeing more of the same, you know, Shannon. It's like one driver just does that bump just the wrong way, and we end up taking a bunch of drivers out.
Justin Allgaier won stage 2. You know, we did hear Kevin say earlier just about everybody moving around on the racetrack, but I asked you the common denominator. We had a big one with a couple laps left in stage 1. We had the big one coming to the end of stage 2. What's the common denominator here?
Well, I'd like to say 40 drivers with a steering wheel and a gas pedal, but I guess I would have to say stage racing. We saw it at Daytona in February with the restrictor plates. We're seeing it right here.
All right, well, we'll send it back up to you guys, Adam, Kevin, and Michael. What a crazy race we've seen so far.
And I'm going to say, Shannon, good news, bad news situation for Justin Allgaier. Good news is he's leading and he won stage 2. But based on the conversation we had during the break, bad news, they go no tires there. How's that car going to react on old tires versus the track position out front?
Well, I think if I'm a driver right now, I want 4 tires. Knowing how unstable that the cars are when you're getting pushed, I want my car to have as much grip as possible, so I would have chosen 4 tires. But any strategy can work out at this particular point at Talladega.
Yeah, Talladega is all about getting in the right place at the right time as the laps wind down. We talked about trouble near the end of the first 2 stages. There's probably trouble lurking at the end of this race. It's just how you're able to maneuver your way through the trouble.
Strongest car today has been who? Who's impressed you most so far?
I think Joey Logano with a close second to Justin Allgaier. I like the way Justin was able to charge late in that stage.
They have definitely been the most consistent up front.
Well, then it's going to be fun because he had to pit twice because of a loose lug nut. That means he's restarting outside the top 15. I agree with you. He's had a strong car, but we're going to find out how good he is because he's starting right in the middle of what could be the mess. So Allgaier came down, won the race off pit road. The guys behind him got 2 tires. Jones, Kennedy, and Dillon Reddick, the first on 4 through the Geico restart zone. There will be 58 laps to go when we get the green. Allgaier taking the outside lane on the restart.
Well, he got a good push from Ty Dillon right behind him, too. So those guys are definitely paired up better than the bottom line.
Clear. He's working the air. You are clear.
Looks like raced through a little bit of speedy dry there. You saw Allgaier go to the bottom, now back to the top. Just get ready for some serious lane changing until this race is over in 58 laps.
Who's that all the way on the outside? Joey Logano making it 3 wide. Help from Elliott Sadler there.
Look at that move. He went to the bottom, got a little more momentum, popped to the top.
Well, and that's how inviting that this can be. You see Joey out there on the top by himself now, and Elliott Sadler decided to move down and go with his teammate. But you wind up making those moves, and the next thing you know, you don't have enough cars, and your progress just stops if you don't have any help.
Saw Ryan Reed go to the garage, damaged race car done for the day, and now out of the care center, Matt.
And Eric Almirola took the blame for that incident. Doesn't make it any easier. The car's much more on edge this trip to Talladega.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the lower downforce has certainly affected the way they drive and the ability to push without getting the guy in front of you sideways. But it was a careless push. You know, I think he knew that. And, you know, those guys don't have to race with us every Saturday, so they're a little bit more careless than they would be on Sunday. So really disappointed, you know. I mean, there's no way around it. I know Eric took the blame, but I'm still going to be a little frustrated with him. We had a car that could win, drove all the way up to the front, and was having a lot of fun. And just being patient, so if we can keep building these cars, we'll keep giving ourselves the ability to win, and we'll rack up some more. So frustrating 3 weeks, a lot of bad luck. Hopefully going into the 2 weeks off, we'll clean that up, get back out here, get the Diabetes Ford Mustang back up front, and everyone watches us get in victory lane a lot more on Xfinity X1.
So Ryan Reed is done. Of the cars that went on the crash clock, they have all made minimum speed, but the 11 of Blake Cook never got back out. He's in the garage. His afternoon over as well.
Look at Eric Jones. Sees an opportunity to get to the bottom. Leaves Mike Lynette in the middle. Gets some help from Elliott Sadler. Those guys are really rolling on the bottom.
Perfect. He went back up. 20's in the middle by himself. No lane has help except for the top there, but it's one car to come on up here in the middle, and then we'll go to the bottom on the dog leg. All the way to the line here. All the way to the line. I won't let him get to you.
That's some confident spotting right there, isn't it?
Back to the middle, blue 98. Both of them are even here, so you got to pick the lane you want here. Probably the blue car here. Like the bottom now. All right, inside. Work the air there. Get that air off it. Get that air off that 20, and then get away from him. Pull him back to you. Pull him. Pull him. Pull him. You got help coming, blue 98 car. Here you come. Inside, and you are... He's getting help. Not clear, not clear. Still down there, the 1. Here comes the 98, back to you. 98, help you. You have the help. You have the help. 98 has the help here now. You're clear. You're clear.
Great help from the spotter stand for Justin Allgaier.
If you don't like being told what to do, you probably don't need to be a race car driver at Talladega, because that spotter was giving the directions and Justin was following them.
And Joey Logano, we talked about their pit problems, back in the top 10, Jamie.
Definitely on the move forward. He has led 13 laps today. You see him working his way with the 3 now, but what happened on that pit stop? They took 4 tires. They were still under caution. It was a heads-up move by the team. He had a loose left front, so they brought it back down. They changed that, tightened it up, and the 22 is just as good as it was at the start of the race.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski drove that car to a top 5 finish at Talladega. Joey Logano today, he's wheeled it. Been very impressive, leading 13 laps. That's more than anybody else. Eric Jones has been shuffled back. He was leading. Eric Almirola on point. A little push from Casey Kane in the gold 88.
And give a shout out to Ryan Sieg. He's in the third spot in that 39 car. What a great strong run we talked about early in this race. There's underdog stories that'll be told today. Sieg's being one of those right now, running right up front. There you see Daniel Suarez. You talked about clearing the crash clock, Adam. He was in the start of that big crash. He got the repairs made to his 18 car, and now not only is he repaired, he's in that lead pack along with Brendan Poole. You see the 48 car with damage.
He just got the free pass on that last caution. Was 31st when we went under caution at the end of stage 2, and Casey Kane making a bid for the top spot in that outside lane, trying to go around Eric Almirola, and he's got drafting help from his teammate, the 7 of Justin Allgaier.
I know we talked about Joey Logano and Justin Allgaier, but I think you can add Eric Almirola as he gets stuck in the middle there, and Casey Kane to the guys that have been pretty consistent up towards the front of this pack, and if they can keep their cars rolling, will most likely be around when we get to the end of this thing.
Michael, you mentioned the 39 of Ryan Sieg. How about that bright orange 99 of David Starr in the top 10?
What a burger, what a run. That car is running well. He's right there in the lead pack. You can see Sieg getting shuffled a bit there. Are they going to go 4 wide? Why not?
And the 8 of Jeff Green making a move in that white machine with the yellow numbers on top.
Jeff Green said, I ain't scared. I'm going to go 4 wide as well. Right in the middle of the corner, he took his number 8 Toyota and made that pass.
Darrell Wallace Jr. back in the top 10. He's another one that was involved in an early crash, had to use the free pass to get back on the lead lap. Since that last restart, he's been the best. Plus 14. Elliott Sadler up 11 spots, and Joey Logano, who had the lug nut problem on pit road, has advanced 10 positions. He is 3rd behind Casey Kane and Justin Allgaier. 51 to go at Talladega. 48 laps to go for the Xfinity Series here at Talladega. Casey Kane leading. Top 9 have gone single file. You see that courtesy of our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. So you got Kane up there in that gold 88. Behind him his teammate Justin Allgaier, who won stage 2 today. Joey Logano has made his way to 3rd since the restart after going 16th. Eric Jones led laps in this cycle is 4th, and Eric Almirola, the final car inside the top 5. Behind him, Michael Annett, Elliott Sadler, Ty Dillon, Ben Kennedy, and Jeff Green are your top 10, but only the top 9 in that pack. They've gone single file, and that's creating trouble for those behind them.
Well, I think half of those cars are probably tore up in that second pack, and you saw this first pack that has mostly undamaged cars, and they're at the peak of their speed, and they've decided to get single file, and they're slowly but surely pulling away from the next 2 packs behind them. So
yeah, and right now, if you're Casey Kane and Justin Allgaier, you're totally cool with how everything is going. You're comfortable to ride in line right there in long laps. But if you're back there, Ty Dillon, Ben Kennedy at the end of this string, get a little antsy because it's easy to lose the draft and lose contact with the leaders.
What's up, Matt?
Well, he started the day on the pole. Certainly not the way you wanted to end it.
Yeah, definitely not. We had such a fast leaf filter gutter protection Chevy. Started on the pole, like you said. Ran in the top 5 the whole first stage and got some good stage points. Lost some track position for the second stage, and I should have, man, my plan was just to hug the yellow line the whole time, and with 1 to go, I moved to the top, was making up ground, because you got to get those stage points, and just got caught up in a wreck, so it really stinks. Just would love to make it to the end and be in victory lane, but I'm going to have to watch somebody else do it today. But very thankful for my sponsor, for Xfinity X1, for Leaf Filter, everybody.
You got to be greedy if you're going to be good at Talladega. He got a little too greedy, and unfortunately Blake Cook has his day in the garage.
We see this single file racing, Kevin. Is there anything you can do if you're back 4th or 5th and you decide you want to go for the lead? Is there a way to lay back and try to get a run, or do you think right now they're totally content with what they're doing?
Well, I think the way that this race has gone, I think they're totally content with what they're doing right now to log these laps and kind of separate themselves from the rest of the field. So I think the hardest thing to do in this front lead pack, and you're seeing Ben Kennedy kind of fluctuate right on the back of losing this pack. So it's one of those situations where it's hard to hold on to the back of the pack because it's kind of an accordion effect. You go in the corner, everybody kind of catches up, and then you have to hit the brakes to keep from catching the guy in front of you, and you come off the corner and you're like, oh, I hit the brakes too much there, and now I'm too far behind. And you see that happen with Ben Kennedy, and the last two cars now are, you know, the 7th and 8th place cars are on the verge of doing the same thing that Kennedy did.
Yeah, I think Ty Dillon made a move there on Elliott Sadler, just swung to the outside, hoping to maybe slow the momentum of the pack so that his teammate Ben Kennedy could catch up, but that didn't work. It's done the opposite, really. It's made Sadler and Dillon both vulnerable now for losing that front pack.
19 of 63 complete in our final stage. 44 to go, and everybody's going to have to pit here, Larry.
Yeah, right now the window has basically opened. If we get a caution, everybody will come to pit road and at least do fuel. But I agree with Kevin. I think one reason these top 6 or 7 are content is we know we're going to have to make one more stop. Now, should we stay green, what they're going to have to do, it's going to be somewhere around 18 to 20 laps to go, just north of lap 90. That's when they have to come right there, unless they decide to pull some other strategy as they are lined up here.
They're all with you out back.
There you go. The window has opened, so that's what they're going to do, Kevin. That's why they're content staying in single file.
Yeah, and I think you want to pit with them, as many of them as possible, because what happens is every time you wait, it kind of slows down, especially when you don't have a big pack of cars. So you want to pit with as many cars as possible right now to maintain your speed. And I think that probably what will happen here is you probably won't be able to take 4 tires because you don't want to take a chance of losing this draft.
And therefore you can't slide your tires. These guys are going to try to be really hot. Getting to pit road, they slide their tires. They could possibly have to change the plan. Some of them pitting, some of them not.
Jones, Almirola stay out. Here comes Kane, Logano, and Justin Allgaier, who did not get tires when he pitted at the end of stage 2 in contact among teammates. Kane and Allgaier got together. The plan did not work out for the 2 cars from Junior Motorsports, Matt.
And you can see a little tug on the fender of the 7 while other cars are waiting to make their cycle to pit road, topping off with fuel. Chris.
Boy, that did not work out for Justin Allgaier there. He had a great entry into the pit lane, but obviously you saw Casey Kane pull down in front of him. Jamie.
And Joey Logano just came into his pit box. Fuel only for the strongest car so far today. And meanwhile, the leader, Eric Jones, stays on the track.
Eric Almirola also stayed on track during that cycle. Everyone in their window to go the distance, so they make pit stops under green. Contact for the 88 and 7 will continue to follow their progress. They have returned to the track and are back competing in turn 2. Here comes the 20 and 98 making their stop under green. 42 laps to go. They're headed your way, Jamie.
And Eric Jones had never led at a plate track before, so that was the first time for him. He'll bring it in. And Eric Almirola, he's had a strong car today. They told him to try to save fuel, but he said, I'm having a hard time keeping up with the pack, so he's been running wide open. They'll do a splash and go as well, and the 20 has had a hard time keeping it revved while he's in the pit box. You saw the team with the push-off.
Fuel only for Eric Jones. He's led today and won in his last 2 starts at Texas and Bristol.
I do not know how that happened because I just told PJ where our pit box was and I'm standing next to him.
A little bit of confusion there among the spotters, trying to figure out how they had trouble getting to pit road.
Now, who's spotting here? Does your spotter continue to help you once you're on the pit lane at Talladega?
Well, the spotter's definitely telling you what's going on and what the plan is, but it looked like Casey just decided that he was going to turn right there. Almost looked like he might have been frustrated that the 7 was on the inside of him, but you know, normally in that case you need to check up and get around the car instead of try to run over it.
How much does your crew chief help you in that situation, if at all, once you're down on pit road, Michael?
A lot of times your pit crew will decide, your crew chief will say, when I'm 5 away, when the driver's 5 away, 5 pit stalls away from his stall, I'll take over. The spotter then relinquishes control to the crew chief. But that was confusing how teammates could get in that predicament.
Here's what they had to say on Allgaier's radio.
Sorry, I don't know what to do different right there.
Short and sweet. Now all this is cycled through. The drivers that pitted at lap 71 or 72 are running from 13th on back. Joey Logano leads that group. You see him right here. Elliott Sadler, Justin Allgaier, Ty Dillon. Jeff Green is cycled through as the race leader. We know guys like he, Daniel Suarez, J.J. Yaley, Bubba Wallace. They're the top 5, Ryan Sieg, but they're going to have to make one more stop. 39 laps to go. We're out of balance on strategy, and anybody's guess what's going to happen for the stretch run. 36 laps to go at Talladega Superspeedway. We're live on Fox with the NASCAR Xfinity Series. When we're done here, the Monster Energy Series on track at Talladega for qualifying tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Time. It's the Geico 500. So Joey Logano is 13th, but he and a number of other drivers pitted at lap 71. And when those cars in front of him come down, they will cycle through and be in the lead.
Have to watch the water here. Looks like some debris, maybe. I'm good right now. 20 under. How much over the limit can it go? I'll be all right at 10, 20. We just got to watch the water pressure. Any water.
It's always something. You think you're out front leading the race, got a smooth ride, but you can see a little debris they're talking about on the grill of that Ford, and it's causing his temperatures to rise.
It looks like a big piece, Mike.
Now he has a couple of options here, Adam. He can flare up and try to fall to the back of this pack and use the air pressure differences between the cars to pull that debris off the front, or he can hope he can catch another lap car. We saw him aggressively whip around a lap car. I think that was an attempt to get it off.
Watch your water pressure. This thing's got a PRV on it. It's got a PRV on it. It's got to keep the water in it. It's not going to get any better. To be very safe than sorry.
And when he says PRV, that means pressure relief valve. And basically what that does, when the water gets to a certain temperature, it starts building pressure. When that pressure gets to a certain point, it starts blowing water out of it.
What about it, Jamie?
Well, I'll tell you, the last two stops for the 22, they've been adding tape because the cooling system's been great on this car. He hasn't had any overheating issues. This is the first time he's had some debris, and like you guys said, it's a big piece. Now the team is watching, listening there, ready to jump over the wall and pull it off if he decides to come in. But Joey's leaving that to his crew chief, Greg Irwin, who, by the way, will be on top of the box calling the shots for him in Cup tomorrow.
34 laps to go. Way too long to stay out there and hope everything works itself out. So Joey doing what you said, Michael. Pull out of line, and once he pulls back in line, he hopes the pressure of the car in front of him will suck that debris off the nose of his car. We'll see if it happens here.
He's going to have to be aggressive about moving back over.
That one's the last one.
See, he tried to get against the one, slow his momentum, and then flare out.
There he goes in line.
And there
it went. That is nice execution.
Well, he hasn't executed it 100% yet, because the hardest part about this is keeping up with that pack. He got the debris off, and that's going to fix the overheating problem. But you got to stay close enough, and it's going to be okay, I think, as he's stayed pretty close to keep up with that pack.
He's got a strong car. I think you see him closing that gap now, so that worked. And just give a shout out to these guys. We saw Suarez in a crash earlier. Jeff Green, the 2000 Series champion from Owensboro, Kentucky, is leading this race. And there's J.J. Yaley, Bubba Wallace, who was in a wreck, Ryan Sieg. This is good stuff.
A couple of different strategies going on right now, Jamie.
And Ryan Sieg, you mentioned, loves seeing the underdog teams running up front. His best finishes have come at plate tracks. The car's been pretty decent today, and he has a familiar voice in his ear. His spotter, Jason Hidleski, he spots for Matt Kenseth on Sundays, longtime spotter for Carl Edwards. But he's guiding this driver through the field. And what they're saying right now, this front pack, they're all trying to get together on the same page. They're saying about lap 90, they want to come in and pit.
That would be 9 laps from now. And Jeff Green and the rest of them going around the 2 of Ben Kennedy, who was a part of that lead draft that had pitted. He has lost connection with that, and now will go a lap down. And how about the day for Daniel Suarez? You talk about a roller coaster ride, but right now second, but keeping in mind he is going to have to make one more pit stop.
See, Ben Kennedy, he's obviously got a faster car than all these guys. Qualified right up front, but he lost the draft, and that therefore he lost time to this group, and they were able to drive by him. Now he's down on the bottom, pulls right in behind leader Jeff Green. So if the caution were to fall, that would help Kennedy.
He's racing to stay on the lead lap. Right now 1 lap down behind Green, first car in that position. So should we get the caution, he would get the free pass. And I didn't think I would say Jeff Green has led double-digit laps today at Talladega, but with strategy, that is the case. He's out front with 30 laps to go. Been a fun afternoon here at Talladega. There are the race leaders: Jeff Green, Darrell Wallace Jr., Ryan Sieg, David Starr, Daniel Suarez, the top 5. They're going to have to pit soon. And while we were away, the 3 of Ty Dillon on pit road, making an unscheduled stop.
He felt the right front tire going flat, and he flared up out of the groove. He knew he had an issue there.
Tough break for him, Matt. He's 24th now.
Great save, and also a great job of bringing it back without it exploding that right front fender. The right front was cut down. Remember, the 3, like so many other teams, they were rotating their tire cycles. Their first stop, they went rights. Their last stop, they went lefts. It was the right front that went down on the 3.
Well, both he and teammate Ben Kennedy, Matt, were a part of that lead draft that had come to pit road under Green, and now they both have fallen a lap down. Ty actually going 2 laps down here as Jeff Green goes by. But Green and the other guys in this pack going to have to make a pit stop probably in the next 4 to 5 laps to get their scheduled service, get fuel so they can go the distance from here. And when they do, it will turn the front of the field over to Justin Allgaier, Eric Jones, Michael Annett, and that group that's already come down pit road.
Just need some good, clear communication between the spotter of Ben Kennedy and Jeff Green's crowd, because Green's going to slow to pit. Kennedy won't do that, and that's when we see accidents a lot of times, when the pack in the front is on differing agendas as far as coming to pit road. So spotters will be really important.
Green flag pit stops here is difficult as anywhere that we go, Kevin.
Well, it's difficult because you want to get as much as you can, and then you come in a pack like this and everybody wants to be in the same spot. So in order to time it all correctly with the guy hitting the brake in front of you and you hitting the brake and not hitting him is a little bit of a dance. So you want to, I always tend to kind of offset myself a little bit from the guy in front of me so that I can get on the brakes and give myself a little leeway to not hit the guy in front of me. But it's tough.
And we mentioned that Justin Allgaier will cycle through as the race leader. It was Logano leading that pack. Got debris on the grill, executed the plan to get it off, but since doing so now has drifted back, and that was something that really concerned you, Kevin.
Yeah, it's hard to, when you get past like that and that pack funnels by you single file, it's hard to get back in line and maintain the speed because they've slowed you down. You don't have that momentum that they have, and then you get to the back of the pack, and sometimes that little funnel of air that you're trying to slip into, you lose. And he's obviously was within 2 or 3 cars and obviously lost the track, lost the draft.
4,300, don't speed, 4,300 at the cone.
Don't speed, don't slide them. Give me a nice steady braking to that line right there. Let's try to finish this off with a strong finish.
Scheduled green flag pit stops. They're giving up track position to get their final fuel run of the day, Matt.
6 car looks pretty beat up, but they've got it sealed up. Waiting on fuel, made a slight chassis adjustment for Bubba Waltz, and he's away, Chris.
Yeah, Jeff Green leading some laps today. The last time he's done that was last summer in Kentucky. You talk about a small time utilizing resources. That's just not their restrictor plate car. That's their road course car.
Wow.
And nice to see Daniel Suarez back in the hunt. He was 1 lap down early on. A lot of damage to that car, mostly cosmetic, but he's saying that car pretty unstable in the draft.
It's going to turn things back over to Justin Allgaier, who's going outside of Ross Chastain, who had inherited the race lead when those guys came to pit road. Outside lane, Justin Allgaier and those behind him likely the ones who will decide who wins it here today. It's Allgaier, Jones, Michael Annett, Elliott Sadler, Joey Logano, all a part of that mix. Logano would be 5th in line once he rallies up to the front and everybody gets their service.
And as a driver, this is a dream scenario if you're one of those 5 guys. Let's go settle this thing among ourselves, not have a crazy 3-4 wide finish, but I got a feeling there's going to be some more twists and turns to this event.
It's been a really interesting race here today. 4 cautions early. We've had a couple of red flags. Green right now, 22 to go. Justin Allgaier leading and looking for his 2nd win of 2017.
It's race day in America.
Our day.
We're fired Today, hats are not fashion statements.
They're declarations of war.
This is no day for whiners.
So buckle up, y'all. We work hard all week for this day.
All the way up. And there's a place for renegades like us.
A place where it's okay to not give a hoot. Where shorts are called shorts for a reason.
It's been home to race day for over 30 years. There's history on the walls and on the plates.
Where ice-cold beer and fresh-made wings are the food pyramid.
Let's cheer on the veterans.
At a place that was damn near built for it.
Welcome to Hooters!
When Chase wins, you win. Go to Hooters24.com to register for free Mountain Dew, Hooters appetizers, and a chance to meet Chase Elliott in Las Vegas.
What goes around comes around. And as a sport that races in laps, we know that a clean race pays off in the finish. It's why NASCAR commits to green programs and biofuel, like Sunoco Green E15, so we can offset our carbon emissions. We're not going to stop making a difference, and neither should you. Learn how you can help by visiting NASCAR.com/green today.
Okay, so the new Ford F-150 with its high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body just blew the doors off the competition. Now it's time to blow their tailgates off, too, by adding the new, more powerful next-generation 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine and an all-new 10-speed transmission, cranking out more power and acceleration, more efficiency at the pump, and the most torque of any half-ton pickup. This is the Ford F-150. Boom.
Some say Talladega is built on hallowed ground, and the only way to win here is to dance with the devil. Time to put on your dancing shoes.
Down to 19 laps to go from the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Talladega. 4-car breakaway at the front as far as lead lap cars. Justin Allgaier, Eric Jones, Michael Annett, Elliott Sadler. Logano is 5th, but he has lost connection with that lead group. Let's go back and reset what happened here.
Well, he fell to the back of this pack, and we thought he did a really good job to be this close. The debris flies off right there. You see it come out the back of the car, and he pulled the one comeback. And then we thought he was okay. And then all of a sudden, he just kept falling back. And once you get that spacing in there, it's really hard to make it up. You're not going to make it up.
You can see how tightly tied together those front 5 cars were. Their uniform draft that they had is what really did Joey in.
He really needs a caution now.
I mean, they just flat out pulled away. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it hurt the motor there.
Well,
Tad Boyd, Greg Irwin, spotter and crew chief.
It's a good question. Maybe it got too hot, but you'd think if it did, there would be water spewing out of it. I don't know.
Well, you know, you look at the lap times right here, and they're about a second slower, and they're all single file. I know there's a couple of torn up cars in there, but even with Joey leading that pack, they're about a second slower than the lead pack.
See Matt Tifft, the 19, the blue car, last one in line here. He's actually a lap down, scored in the 18th position. He would like a caution so he could get the free pass. What about our race leader with 18 to go, Chris?
Well, Adam, with the laps that Justin Allgaier's led this today, he's now over 250 on the season, and that's a big improvement from last year. Only led 37 all of last season. He said the biggest disappointment this year was just the wreck that they had at Daytona. He said the Junior Motorsports Restrictor Plate program is so strong, we weren't able to show anything there. Well, they're definitely showing a lot today.
Shoot, Chris, the most he's ever led in a season in his career entering 2017 was like 220 or somewhere right in that area. So he's already surpassed that number in 2017. Dominated and won at Phoenix. Dominated last week, but circumstances late in the race didn't play out for him to get his second win. Won another stage today, and out front when it matters as of now. 17 to go, and here's the other thing you have to keep in mind. 3 of the front 4 teammates from Junior Motorsports. Michael Annett and Elliott Sadler up there as well.
And then when you look at Eric Jones, he's won his last 2 starts in the Xfinity Series. So a dominant Justin Allgaier, a winning Eric Jones right ahead of Michael Annett, who's just gotten better and better each week this season. And of course, we know how strong Sadler's been.
There's a caution. 5th one of the day, debris on track. Big for a number of guys. In particular, though, maybe Joey Logano. If the engine isn't wounded, you put him back in that lead draft. We know he'll be a player.
I bet you the gears are spinning down in Larry McReynolds' head. Do the tires help enough, Kevin? Is there a performance advantage to them? Can you be more aggressive if you have fresh tires? What are you thinking here for strategy?
Well, I think a lot of that depends on just where you're at right now. I think running single file like they have, I think they're probably going to stay out because they want the track position. You'll see some of the guys towards the tail end come in and put tires on and try to have a better car to push and be pushed. So we'll see.
Matt Tiff, 15th. First car 1 lap down. He'll get the free pass, trying to get his second consecutive top 10 at Talladega after starting on the pole here a year ago. He's hanging tough.
Just a lap or two prior to that caution, Ross Chastain lost a lap, and Tiff was able to squeeze around Chastain and put himself in a position to get the free pass, and he'll do just that. He's got a fast Toyota too. Saw him narrowly miss that big first crash. Maybe he can turn this break here. When I say narrowly miss it, he mostly missed it.
Due to the bare bond on the front. But Michael, I mean, it never fails when you're out front here and you're like, all right, we're going to settle this thing. There's going to be 4 or 5 of us. We've done everything right today. We break away from the pack. We're all single file, and it's going to come down to the 4 cars. Caution.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Throw that strategy out the window because now it's going to be
hey,
jumbled up.
I'm going to say this too. Don't forget about Eric Almirola and Casey Kane. Wasn't long ago they were a part of that lead draft, got disconnected through that cycle of pit stops. Now they will be back in the mix with less than 15 to go.
There's Kane in that gold 88, Almirola in the 98, and Casey had some communication issues getting to pit road. So we're gonna rewrite this thing. We talked earlier about how strong of a car Casey had, and Logano, both of them will be a factor before the checker falls.
Pit road is going to be open here, so we'll see exactly what the thought process is for everyone. I can't believe how big a part of the equation track position has become at a place like Talladega. You used to be just didn't matter where you are, and we basically ran today's event like a road course. Your window opens, you come down pit road, so you make sure that you're right where you want to be in regard to that track position for the latter stages.
I figured that 22 car would head to pit road.
He comes down, Jeff Green.
Try to make an adjustment on the 22 car, maybe speed it up a little bit. Jamie, what are they saying?
Well, Joey said, I'm just a little free, but I'm not very fast. I don't know if we put tires on, if that'll help. They think they may have hurt the engine, as you guys said. But Greg Irwin said, you know what, we're going to be faster on new tires. Let's bring it in. And filling it up with fuel is going to help the balance of that car, too. So they think this is the right call if they want to win this race.
Logano has 2 wins here. One in that 22 a couple of years ago. And the 22 team for Team Penske on a 43 race winless streak. Their last victory coming November 2015 at Texas when Brad was driving it. They'd love to end that today. Mentioned the track position issues for Casey Kane after the 88 had lost the draft. They also come down pit road with 14 laps to go. So leading this thing and staying out is Justin Allgaier. We talked about what a great year it's been for them. And since he came to Junior Motorsports and was united with Jason Burdett, it's been a wonderful combination. Burdett's been all around the NASCAR garage, playing so many different roles. He was the car chief for the 88 in Dale Jr. before making the move to be a crew chief at Junior Motorsports. One of the nicest guys you'll find out in the garage area. Has found really a lot of magic with Allgaier, and they're leading today, Chris.
Yeah, and a pretty clean day for both Jason and Justin down here. Now, Jason, you guys have restarted up front a couple different times here. There's been some discussion which lane you're going to be in. What did you learn from the previous restarts?
Well, I think you just try to line yourself up with whichever car you feel can push you the best, you know, to get out front, whether that be the bottom or the top. I'm not sure that there's an advantage there. You know, luckily for us right now, we've got 3 teammates right behind us, so hopefully we can pick the right lane and get out front and go.
Good luck. Mention the win at Phoenix for Justin Allgaier. He's never won multiple races in a season in his career. He hopes to get win number 2 in 2017 here today. It's been fun this afternoon. 500 miles for the Monster Energy Series tomorrow on Fox.
Talladega, here we come. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series heads to Alabama for some super speeds at the Super Speedway. Who'll be sent to the garage early? And who'll take the checkered flag? Anything can happen at this track. Find out tomorrow. Coverage begins with race day on FS1 at 11:30 a.m. Eastern and continues on Fox at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
In Prior to tomorrow's race, following our coverage today, Monster Energy Series qualifying from Talladega. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with the National Alliance on Mental Illness and their commitment to improving the lives of families and those living with mental illness. Learn more about how to be stigma-free and go to foxsportsupports.com. All right, 13 laps to go. If you're just joining us on this Saturday afternoon, under our 5th caution for debris, we've had 2 red flags, a number of drivers out of the race. Going to be 15 on the lead lap when we go green, and we'll restart like this. Justin Allgaier has the top spot, then it's Eric Jones, Michael Annett, Elliott Sadler, Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 5th position, Ryan Sieg, Dakota Armstrong, Ben Kennedy, Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, the top 10. So many amazing stories here today of drivers that have had some sort of problem. But here we are, late stages, and they find themselves with a chance to go to victory lane.
Narrowed it down, Kevin, to just 12 green flag laps of racing. Surely you can tell me which one of these guys are going to win this race.
Well, I can tell you what's going to happen is they're going to start pushing and shoving again. You didn't see much of that while they were single file, but the payoff is right here. The pay window's getting ready to open here in about 12 laps. And they're all going to go for it. So I think anybody has a chance. We'll see what happens.
I have a lot of energy for Ryan Sieg and that underdog team from Georgia. If they can squeeze their way to the front of this pack and win this race in Talladega.
Casey Kane going to be held 1 lap for pitting out of the box, so that will take him out of the equation more than likely, unless something really crazy happens here. And Michael, you said 12 laps under green. We could get another caution here, you know. And now they've added a lap, so we know it's going to be maybe 11 laps of green. We'll see.
Why you got to be Debbie Downer there, Adam?
On board with Elliott Sadler, won this race a year ago. He's won here twice. Last season with Junior Motorsports, a few years ago with Joe Gibbs Racing, and a lot of days like this at Talladega, huh? The highs and lows.
He didn't have much of a pulse there early in the race, but man, it's come to life now. And I imagine his heart rate looks a whole lot like that as well. Down low when things went wrong early, but a steady progress toward the front. And now he's thinking he's going to win this race today.
I just think about how dominant he was at Daytona, winning stage 1 and stage 2. And a late race accident takes him out, and he finished 24th. He's not been a big part of the equation today, but because, for the most part, with the exception of that early run-in with the wall, he's kept his nose clean, and now he's right in position to go out and get his first win of the year.
Well, I think you look at the beginning of the race and how he kind of got freaked out there at the beginning of the race, in my opinion. He got put in the wall there from the bump drafting. They came in, adjusted the shock, and here they are sitting in 4th here towards the end of the race with 12 laps to go. So he's right in the mix of this thing, and we'll see if he's a good pusher or can be pushed, and his car is more stable than he thought it was early in the race.
Logano going to restart inside the top 10, back in it's going to be the 10th position on 4 fresh tires. So keep your eye on the 22 once we go green.
And we know how much he likes that 98 pushing him. Eric Almirola is right behind Logano. That could be a stout pair there, Larry McReynolds.
Hey guys, all the teams that came to pit road and got 4 tires, you really didn't need fuel. Michael, you and Kevin will certainly acknowledge this. They all put fuel in. It drops the rear of the car, gets that rear spoiler out of the air with those fresh tires.
I'm gonna predict that Joey Logano is a factor in who wins this race. That's that little bit of extra gas, those fresher tires, his aggression, his ability to figure his way to the front. We're going to see a display of some serious restrictor plate super speedway driving here from Logano.
All right, 11 laps to go. Allgaier chooses the outside lane. Going to have his veteran teammate Elliott Sadler behind him. Inside, Eric Jones. And the 3rd car, a part of this mix from Junior Motorsports, Michael Annett in the 5, behind Jones in that 20.
Not a great start by Annett. He isn't up on the back of the 20 car of Jones. You can see Ryan Sieg in the 39 has given Elliott Sadler a big push in the 1 car. That's going to clear those 2.
But I think that's what Justin Allgaier was banking on, was that Elliott was going to be the better pusher there, and it wound up paying off for him.
See Ben Kennedy right behind the 39 of Ryan Sieg in that red and black number 2. He had gone a lap down, but through the cycle of pit stops got back on the lead lap. He's in the top 5 as we come around to see 10 laps to go.
And you can really see that pack start to form at the end of the straightaway, and here we are in the middle of the corner. The whole thing's formed up, and now we're really going to start seeing things happen.
Joey
Back
Logano.
to the bottom of the doorway here. There you go. Side by side in your mirror.
On board with Elliott Sadler. Allgaier has jumped out front, and keep your eye on that 22 of Logano. He was making moves.
I think everybody in this pack thinks that there's possibly going to be another caution. There's trouble ahead, and they couldn't be in a bigger hurry to get there. This is when you really pull out all the stops.
Almirola, that blue 98, a part of the mix once more. Behind him, the 40 machine, that's Timmy Hill. But he's 1 lap down. Keep that in mind as you watch his car.
As is Joey Gase in the 52 just behind him in Jimmy Means Racing's car. Good top 10 run at Daytona for the 52, but they're a lap down. But you can't give up now. I mean, the caution comes out, you're the first guy lap down. We know how Talladega is. You can come from anywhere and win. We're seeing Joey Logano racing hard from that 9th position in the restart to be a part of the battle for the lead.
What it looks to me like his car's running fine, and he's got Eric Almirola right behind him, and the number 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. there. So you've got the Fords lined up, and you've got Allgaier out there with, he knows his teammates right behind him, and that's his best chance to get a push, but he's going to block both lanes, and here comes Logano.
Logano crossover, drafting help from Eric Almirola, 22 back in the lead.
And that is just one of those situations where Allgaier, the lane was just coming so fast. We heard him talk about it earlier. It comes so fast that you can't block it, and you have to give way to the lane that is making the progress. Yeah, and you just see Justin come up, and that lane has just got so much more momentum than he can stop, and they just drive right under him.
8 laps to go.
It's not over by any stretch. Justin Allgaier can be right back to the front in a hurry. And look at Ryan Sieg pushing right on the back of Almirola. Trouble for Dakota Armstrong in that 28 car dropping back.
Michael, Sieg has 6 career top 10s. 3 of them have come at plate tracks. He'd love to be up there at the end today. He's in that blue and black 39. Watch that green 28 of Dakota Armstrong.
I think he had some sort of mechanical issue. The car just looks like shut down in the corner. Maybe he was backing out for a flat tire. Something didn't feel right to him, that's for sure.
He wants to get to pit road here. Lets the traffic clear. Here come the leaders by the start-finish line. Logano in front of Almirola, Ryan Sieg, Eric Jones, Justin Allgaier, Elliott Sadler. They're all up there now with 7 laps remaining.
Can you say 4 wide?
Driver on the outside is Matt Tifft. He just got the free pass on that last caution. He's trying to move to the front.
One thing I will tell you is I feel like this point in plate racing, whether it's on Saturday or Sunday, Joey Logano is one of the best when it comes to navigating these races and how to block and how to position yourself. And you know, a few laps ago we were talking about, is his car blown up? And here he is again, sitting at the front of the pack, controlling the race.
But he's got company up there, Kevin. Eric Jones was able to squeeze past Logano. He's got the lead now.
Jamie said it earlier. Jones had never led a lap at Daytona or Talladega prior to today. Seemed like he always had bad luck, but the 20 car showing a lot of speed late today. That's Allgaier behind him. We know how hungry he is. 3 wide at the front.
So many great stories in the top 10. We've talked about Sieg. We've talked about Darrell Wallace Jr. being in a crash. He's running up in the top 10. J.J. Aley and Jeff Green right there on the cusp of a top 10 finish.
Big shove out front. Logano enjoying a lot of space, but you don't want to get too far out there because the pack will come screaming behind you. Jones trying to take advantage. They're moving on the outside as well.
Oh, they're going to get Joey 3 wide. He's going to be stuck in the middle.
Eric Jones out front with 5 to go. Almirola going by Logano on the inside.
I just think there's so much energy and so many big surges with the rules that the Xfinity cars have now, Kevin. It's going to be nearly impossible to block everybody off.
Well, and the later it gets in this race, the tighter this pack gets and the more energy that comes out of that pack and those lines and those pushes, because there's more cars that are nose to nose, and it just becomes more intense every lap.
And a reminder that outside lane, the 3 of Ty Dillon, 88 of Casey Kane, they're in the mix, but 1 lap down. What role will they play in this? It's Jones and Almirola out front in the tri-oval, and back across the start-finish line, Logano trying to find a little momentum here.
Ooh, that was a close one. Eric tried to block Joey off.
On board with Elliott Sadler, tucked up behind Ryan Sieg. To his outside, Eric Almirola, who's getting a push from Logano.
And Ryan Sieg has got himself in a great position right now. He's got Elliott Sadler behind him. He's up in the middle of the lead pack there, but he's got some good pushers, and he's put himself in a really good position on this particular lap to be right up in the front.
Talking about a good pusher. Wow. What a surge that was from the 22 car into the back of the 98 of Almirola. Put Almirola out front.
Almirola out front reminds me of last July at Daytona. He won the race, and behind him, Allgaier, Sieg, and Logano. They're all right there with 2.5 laps remaining, and Almirola looking in that rear view mirror.
This is amazing. I can't believe how aggressive they're being and getting away with it.
Logano's fallen back and gotten trapped here. 2 left at Talladega this time. How about Ben Kennedy running fourth? First time we've seen him in 2017, and Richard Childress Racing has never won at Talladega in the Xfinity Series.
Oh, Justin Allgaier made a bit of a block there on Bubba Wallace, makes that work. Kennedy's charging for third.
Logano third now. He got caught back last time around, was running 7th or 8th.
The white race will be official.
Here they are to the white flag. 1 lap to go at Talladega, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Eric Almirola leading, but 7 of the last 8 races here have had a last lap pass for the victory. Elliott Sadler shoving Logano up the track. Almirola watching it all in his rearview mirror. He crosses over in front of Logano.
2 of those last lap passes, Adam, have been made by Elliott Sadler. Oh, they're crashing.
There goes Darrell Wallace Jr. Hits the wall hard. If the caution comes out, we'd freeze the field, but no caution yet. We'll see if they let him race back. Ryan Sieg sliding through the grass. Almirola out front. That's Sadler behind him in the 1. Eric Jones getting aggressive inside of Allgaier. Here comes Sadler. Can he get there? Logano outside. Here's the checkers at the line. Eric Almirola wins it at Talladega. And now the yellow flag has been displayed to alert all the drivers of the incident that happened on the back straightaway. What a finish.
Oh, man, that's just heart-stopping for me. Just knowing how aggressive the drivers are being and how much they're going to...
Yes, awesome job, fellas.
And I'm so happy for this.
Fluke. That one was straight up ours, buddy. Yeah. I told you guys this thing was fast.
I tell you what, I'm so happy for that particular team. They participated in most all of these Xfinity Series races, and to come out here and win, I would consider this an underdog team and an underdog win with an experienced driver behind the wheel. But great day for that team.
Casey Mears top 10 in the 98 last week at Richmond. Going to run a lot of races for them. But it's Eric Almirola who's out front today at Talladega, third win of his Xfinity Series career.
See, Bubba just hooks in with another car, the black car. Causes him to hit the inside wall, and then Ryan Sieg went spinning down into turn 3 as well. But there it is, the checkered flag at Talladega. Eric Almirola said that wasn't no fluke. We outrun them today.
Yeah, that car was fast all day, you know, and he told us on the radio after he won one of the stages there that how fast that car was, and they'd be back up towards the front. And here they are sitting in victory lane, so he was right.
Started 23rd, won stage 1. After the cycle of stops was 21st, got to the front again, but then through a cycle of green flag pit stops, lost the draft. Got that caution late with about 12 laps to go, and he was able to drive to the front and get the win. Think about his previous 2 victories. At Milwaukee, when Denny Hamlin took over the race car, he didn't like how that one played out, even though he was credited as the winner. Won last summer at Daytona when the caution came out on the final lap. A little bit dissatisfying in that situation. You heard him say it there. We earned it today. Third time is a charm for Eric Almirola, 21st driver to win here at Talladega.
Welcome back to Talladega, and welcome to the eBay Motors post-race show. So the theme of this race was anybody can win, and today that was Eric Almirola, his 3rd victory, 2nd on a restrictor plate.
Yeah, just a great call by his crew chief, John Hanson, to bring him down, and there's his whole family celebrating with him.
Son Alex, daughter Abby. This is going to be a huge family celebration in Victory Lane, where Jamie Little is.
The family's rolling on this moment, celebrating with the team, the owner, everybody that makes this team possible. Part-time. Eric, this is your 2nd restrictor plate win in this series, but the first here at Talladega. What does it, you got to open that good orange juice. What does it mean to this team, everything they go through on the limited budget to get here?
Oh, it means so much. First, I want to thank God, and then I want to thank Fresh from Florida and everybody at this Biaggi Dinbesti race team. They let me run this thing 7 or 8 times a year, and I have so much fun, especially on the speedway races. Doug Yates brings some awesome horsepower, and our Ford Mustang was super fast. So I knew it right from the beginning of practice. We ran about 10 laps in practice, and I said, put it on jack stands, we're ready to go. This thing's fast. So what an awesome day. I feel really bad about the 16. I got in the back of the 16 and tore up a lot of cars there, but I got a good push, and I got in the back of him. I was trying to help him, trying to make the Fords work together, and I hooked him. So I feel sorry about that. But awesome job. I told the kids we were going to get soaking wet again. They've talked about Daytona for a year, and it's just awesome to get this Fresh from Florida Ford Mustang into victory lane. So drink down a cold glass of orange juice, and we'll get ready to qualify here.
The kids are coming in. Eric, you guys decided to come down there and just take fuel only. How much of a difference did that balance change make for you guys?
I think it made a difference. My car was able to go in places, you know, I didn't think the tires were that bad because we ran 35 or 40 laps single file, and we lost the draft. That was actually a mistake on my part. My crew chief said they might be coming, and I was like, man, no way. I thought we were really close to our fuel window, and so I run 1 lap, and that actually hurt us, and we lost the draft. But I knew our car was really fast, and I knew if we had one more shot at them, we'd get another chance. And I got to thank Joey. Joey gave me a really good push, so it was great to see the Blue Ovals working together. And I want to thank everybody at Smith Hill Foods, too. I feel so bad. So far, I've won a Cup race, and it's been in a U.S. Air Force car, and I've won 2 Xfinity races, and it's been in a Fresh from Florida car. We've yet to get Smith Hill Foods to victory lane, so we'll have to work on that. Thank you.
We did it! We're going to get another trophy!
That's awesome. Give me a hug.
Wow, what a day for Elliott Sadler. You had contact with the wall early. You made a shock change the first half of the race, but you were right there in the end. After the checkered flag, you said, I'm going to regret that one. What is it that you're going to regret?
Yeah, I made a mistake inside the car coming to the white that probably cost me a chance at winning the race, and I should know better, but you know, I was racing some really good guys up there with Joey and Eric and the Dillon boys and stuff like that, but just proud of my team, man. We fought back. You know, we did make a shock change. We did some stuff to the front end and make it more stable to drive where I could push and be aggressive. Just proud of everybody on this One Main Financial team. We had a lot of people here, a lot of investors and customers, employees here today. Really wanted to take in the victory lane, but we came up one spot short.
Thanks, Elliott.
And what a day for Joey Logano. Finishes third. I don't know how you even describe your day, let alone those last 4 or 5 laps, and especially the over-under move.
Man, we were so close. So aggravating, but so much fun racing here at Talladega in these Xfinity cars. The draft is just so crazy and different. You know, the runs, they come so quick and they're hard to block them. You can't block them with air. You got to block them physically with your car. So it gets really tight. And we came up at turn 4. I was like, I got the run, and Eric was late to the block, and I was like, oh, this could be where it all ends. And he got there just in time. I got in the back bumper of him and then tried to cross him over. And dang it, just I had a good push there at the end with on the 2 car, and we couldn't stay attached the way we needed to. And if the caution came out sooner, we would have won the race. But yeah, I'm kind of glad they let us race to the end. That's you know, selfishly, I say I wish the caution came out, but for the fans, I understand. Let's finish this thing and race to the end and have a good finish. But you know, we did everything we can do. I don't know. I got to go back and see where I can do better as a driver. But I felt like I learned a lot throughout the race and was able to use them at the end. But congratulations to Eric and that team. Lisa Ford won, but wish this Discount Tire won.
Definitely a fun day for Logano.
Matt, I look at the top 3, and I think about the fact that all 3 of those guys doing double duty this weekend. So what did they learn 300 miles today that will help them here tomorrow, Kevin?
Well, I think it's important to kind of get a rhythm of looking in the mirror, listening to your spotter. We didn't get a lot of practice, so I think that those guys being on track today will definitely give them a little bit better rhythm to start the race tomorrow. So track time never hurts anywhere, and especially at a place like this where you listen to your spotters so much.
And what did you learn today from being in the Fox booth watching all this action that'll help you tomorrow?
I learned that it's much crazier up here to watch it than it is to be in the car. But I think as you look at those runs that they were getting today and the timing of those with the new Xfinity rules, with the new rules and the way that those cars come up so fast, it's hard to block those moves. And I think tomorrow you'll be able to block those moves a little bit better than what they were to block today.
Usually you trade in your fire suit, put on a tie, and come join us. Today, it's kind of the opposite. You're going to give up your tie, put on the fire suit, go qualify. Thanks for being here. Best of luck today in qualifying and tomorrow for 500 miles at what has been a fun place every time we come here, Talladega.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and go down and qualify now.
All right, the fun just starting. Shannon?
Thanks, Adam. You know, I can't believe Kevin just said it was crazier up in that booth than it is down there on the racetrack. I'm going to call his bluff. I'm also going to call your bluff, Larry Mack. Earlier today in the pre-race show, I asked you who was more important in this race, the spotter or the crew chief, and you leaned in the spotter's direction, but the call to come down, get fuel, manipulate that balance of the car, that was the key.
Well, and I said it when those guys came, and Kevin and Michael agreed with me, I think. You know, yeah, they didn't put tires on, but they dumped the fuel in the back of that car, and the biggest culprit from keeping you back from running fast on a straightaway is that rear spoiler. So anything you can do to get weight in the back of that car, it gets that spoiler out of the air and helps the straightaway speed. I have to believe that's the reason they did fuel only.
Joey Logano was another one of the guys who came down and got fuel, finished third, had the dominant car, but I think he started to once again prove to us why he's so good on these plate races.
Well, he's good at working the crowd, working the lines, and trying to do the blocking. And also, we talked about it this morning at our production meeting. There's nobody better working the rules of just that bump, 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 and not just locking bumpers, which you can't do in this series. He's a master at it.
And I love that move to come down and get that debris off the front grille. That was something else at 190 miles an hour. Don't forget, we have Cup qualifying coming up right after this. But as Eric Almirola continues to celebrate in victory lane, this was a big one for him, celebrating with his family.
Survival is the name of the game today. I'll do what I can. Today's our day, man. Let's make it happen. We had that whole backstretch fiasco. It was pretty exciting. They wrecked in front of us, so we're good. Yeah, right side damage. The wheel's a little bit turned to the left. but it's rolling okay. I don't know if anything's broke. I'm sorry. I was trying to give him a push. I just caught him on the left rear quarter. My bad.
So welcome back to the eBay Motors post-race show. The widest selection of parts have never been easier to shop. Check out eBay Motors to find the right part for your ride. Find it, add it, get it fast. What a race it was here today. And you know, you heard us say the name Ben Kennedy a few times today. It was his first start in the Xfinity Series this season. And how about a 4th place finish for Kennedy? He's standing by with Matt.
First of 9 races in 2017 ended huge for Ben Kennedy. So playing it over in your mind, could there anything you could have done differently in the end?
I don't know. I mean, it's so dependent on which line you're in the last couple laps. I got to the 22 there on the last lap on the outside. I could get this bumper and bump him quite a bit. Just lost my momentum, couldn't hang with him. We seemed to be as good as whoever was behind us today. If we had a good push, we could hang with them all day. But proud of the Ream guys. That was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the other races with them and the rest of the season.
Back-to-back years, he leaves Talladega with a top 5 finish, trucks and Xfinity.
If you want the 20.
Yeah, and Justin Allgaier just dominated all day. Justin, you led 24 laps today, but those last 10 laps, the pack just ate you up. Is there anything you can do at that point in time?
No, unfortunately. You know, our bike got turned a little bit there on the back straightaway and lost the momentum that we needed. And unfortunately, you know, when you're the lead car, you're trying to do everything you can to manage lanes. And we had an extremely strong Helmets Mayonnaise Chevy today and really wanted to get our Camaro in victory lane. I think that was ultimately what the main goal was, but just didn't have it. So hats off to these guys at Junior Motorsports, the Hendrick Engine Shop, everybody that's a part of this Junior Motorsports team. 5 really strong cars today, and it was a good day. Hopefully the fans enjoyed it. Thanks to Xfinity for all they do for our sport. It was fun today.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, if it was fun for the drivers, it was sure fun for us watching as well. What an exciting race, but Talladega usually is. And take a look at the points right now. Junior Motorsports continuing to lead the way.
Well, what catches my eye? Yeah, Junior Motorsports, the top 3, and a great run for Michael Annett in that 5-car, finished 7th. He's moved up to 6th in the points.
Darrell Wallace did not get another 6th place finish, but he remains top 4 in the points. And then you can see as the rest of them play out after 9 races. And of course, they have the weekend off, so guys can kind of regroup. Yes, 2 weekends, Kansas and the All-Star event.
But this next stretch, it will separate the men from the boys. They start at Charlotte, they go all the way to mid-September, late September before their next off weekend.
That is what it's all about right there, Larry Mack. Having your family celebrating a victory in Victory Lane.
And what a cool trophy they give the winners here at Talladega.
You really have to get it done here at Talladega. Heart-stopping racing to go to Victory Lane after you've been white-knuckling it the entire race. It's got to be such a huge accomplishment. Don't forget, qualifying for Cup Series is coming up next. You'll know who will lead the field to green tomorrow here at Talladega. Thanks for joining us.